but I still will. So, last episode, we drunkenly or hungover all woke up and decided, all right, let's go try to get jobs as bounty hunters. And so
Bodyguards.
Oh yeah.
Different jobs.
Slightly different.
Slightly.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I think that was the bulk majority of what we did. So we went to this house here at the southeast of the map, southwest. Oh my gosh. And we all started signing up for slots to be tested to become bodyguards. Which was fun. It was interesting. I think 3 of our players went somewhere.
3,
because it was Temperance, Dustin, and Ara. And they walked in to find a halfling in a sandpit room. And then most of them proceeded to have good exchanges of combat where they realize that they aren't actually hitting each other. They're just hitting around each other. And that was the first test to becoming a bodyguard. We decided that not all of us were going to go on the same day because they're only taking one applicant per day to go on to the next round. And so then we went back to the tower. Some lighthearted shenanigans got afoot, and now we are all just preparing ourselves for the challenge to come, which involves different things for different people.
And you wanted a bird mask.
I did want a bird mask.
Which we're going to make.
Yes, so I'm not sure how it's going to work. So I was actually thinking this week that I'll probably just take Skippy in on his own. Because I don't want the first combat that Leaf gets into to be not Kate.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she got drunk again.
Yeah, I
and
could say like
Skippy
her
will-
hangover caught up with her.
Yeah.
Finally.
Such a small body.
Because I do think
Mhm.
some of you guys went drinking again last episode, right?
I don't think so.
For
I
some
think
reason
her
thought-
and Dustin had gone to the tavern to ask for questions, and she just drinks whenever she has her hands on something that a liquid can be put into.
Yes.
She also recently found out what her alchemy jug does.
That is accurate.
So interventions may be in order in the future, but she was drinking a lot yesterday, so she could be completely smashed and incapable of functioning for her supposed interview this evening. So yes, most of you went the first day, and then immediately left. There was one of you was planning on going today, and one of you was planning on going the day after.
Last day. Yeah, I was going to go the last day. Leaf was going to go tomorrow.
Yes, because there was 3 days where they were testing. They were doing like the physical testing, and then the day after that, they were gonna invite the 3 that they had chosen to have a one-on-one interview with the Lord of the Manor, essentially. So, that evening, the siblings and Sarah were getting ready to go. They had gathered all their things. They had left their carriage in town because trying to drag a carriage all the way out here is a bit awkward, but they would definitely want to give everybody big hugs. Xanroar, that includes you, whether you like it or not, at least from, you would get tag teamed, like, one on each side, Malik and Mara, just, like, hug, and then,
And they high-fived in the middle of it.
essentially. Skippy gets picked up and hugged by Mara, and the same with the other two. It'd be in-group hugs. Whoever wants. Dustin, I think, would probably try to pick up all three of them at the same time for a big hug, knowing him.
And he herniates a disc.
Temperance, if you welcome hugs, you will get hugs. Xanroar is a special case that they went after on purpose. They don't know you very well yet, so they'll give you the option for hugs. But yeah, that evening they were like before, like as the sun was setting, because Elzorna and the wolves will come out of the woods and meet them, trying to avoid the town as much as possible and not wanting to cause a panic, which was also a conversation that happened with Skippy last week.
Yes.
But I know Skippy and Ara were doing mask preparations.
Yeah, we were going to get some stuff.
What exactly? How? What are your plans? We'll figure out how this will work, because I know you have the disguise kit. Which you could roll for this if you would like.
Sure. I was basically gonna try to make like I would have tried to find, although I don't know if we'll be able to, like some sort of way to make like plaster or like paper mache to basically make like a mold of his face, and then put feathers stuff. This is so stupid. On top of it,
you probably could, but it wouldn't be exactly paper mache. It would likely be like house building material. Like
sure, whatever we can get our hands
on.
So
is Skippy okay with this? Having pretty much concrete put on his head, his face.
Probably not. Because Skippy, like in theory, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll make a bird mask, and everybody will think I'm a bird." And then he'll probably like see the stuff that Ara is trying to put on his face, and be like,
Listen,
maybe...
if you want to be a bird, this is what we're gonna have to do."
Yeah, but that seems like it would hurt coming off.
Oh, well, no, we put like a thin veneer of paper underneath that we can pull it right off. Are you telling me you don't want a bird mask on your bird face?
Well,
you're telling me your ridiculous idea you're backtracking on.
Well, it's not that I'm backtracking. I was just like, maybe a place just sells a bird-shaped mask, and then we can color it.
Fine, let's go look for a bird-shaped mask. Is there a... This is so silly. Can we find a bird-shaped mask?
Unfortunately, there are no party cities in this town. This is mostly like it's a rustic town. Anything like that, if they were holding like a festival where anyone would need a mask, they would all be homemade. There's no mask maker, specifically.
Yeah.
There's no call for it.
So, I'm assuming that provincial prevenders.
Provincial?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna pretend that my brain's functioning right now. So I would assume that Skippy would probably go in there. Are there any bells in there?
Depends on the bell. Like you could probably find like a handbell or like a cowbell. Like what are you looking for?
So, like, you know those, like, round bells that you see a lot during Christmas time?
I'm a roll for funds. Nope. You do not find any.
Okay.
I mean, you do know somebody that knows how to work with metal.
Yes.
If you really need some bells.
Skippy is going to buy a cowbell.
You now have a cowbell.
How much did that cost me?
Like a silver, maybe.
All right. And not seeing any bird masks, he'll probably just decide to use magic again, to get back into the thing. And through this entire little, quote unquote, sally that I'm having with Ara, because this is Skippy's first time seeing you in your fancy noble clothes, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So yeah, the entire time Skippy would probably be going like, "Are you a princess? Do you have a castle?
Yeah, sort of, and yes.
What? Do you have knights that do stuff for you?
There are servants.
Do you ever like get kidnapped by dragons or like giant turtles?
Dragons, haven't seen one.
Ow.
They're okay, that hurt. Haven't seen a dragon in all my years. They're missing as far as I'm aware. And what was that second question?
Have you ever been kidnapped by a giant turtle?
Once.
Should I call you my lady?
If you are so inclined, you can call me Lady Ara. But I certainly do not require you to.
And yeah, so Skippy's probably just going to be like asking tons of like questions about your noble isms.
All right. If you go anywhere near her father, she's just gonna kind of brush you off.
Okay. He probably would be
Yeah.
like, "So is your dad a king?" And then be like, just like going through that at some point.
Yeah. She's gonna look at you and just keep walking.
Yeah, and also for some reason in my head, I'm picturing like you're like carrying me like underhanded, like almost like a football, like
Yeah,
you
like
just like
yeah.
scooped me, and like I'm just like sitting there, like asking all these annoying questions.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of like, I'm just circling it back towards the house at this point, with your cowbell dangling from your hands or whatever.
My feet.
Your feet. That's right.
So, what is your plan? Because this is late in the afternoon of the day that the group of you had attempted to impress the folk at the manor house.
Skippy would probably come back to the house, and find Leaf drinking and be like, maybe you should slow down a little bit.
Nah,
So
fine.
Okay. And yeah, Skippy will sit there and like, yeah, he would actually honestly probably just go straight up to the top of the tower and start working on his bell.
So the mask idea has been abandoned?
It has. Skippy, as an actual child, he had the idea and then immediately got distracted and then chose not to do the idea. out of character, I was like, if I'm going in by myself anyways.
That works. I don't
Yeah,
think,
yes.
like, when we started the campaign, he was initially supposed to be, like, an actual child, but that's just kind of what happened along the way.
Yeah, I don't think he was either, but
And here we
Oh,
are.
it's where we are now, yeah.
So, what is everyone else doing, and who plans on going tomorrow?
ooh, me. Ooh.
Did they say we weren't allowed to come back and
You could come back. They, at the end of the day, they post who was chosen for that day, but like they're not gonna let you in and compete again. But
Okay.
no, they're not gonna kick you away. Like if you're just loitering, essentially. But no one has said otherwise. So, does anyone have anything else to do this eve?
Xanroar's just gonna keep working on his enchantment. He really wants to get that working.
Is predictably Xanroar. Okay, so next day rolls around. Unless Temperance, did you want to do something?
I was just gonna say if it's even possible, she would want to get any Snoopy information about how everybody else did. Like if they're talking about it at the bar that night or whatever.
Sure. Roll like are you roll and investigate? You're just like hanging around.
Oh yeah, she's totally nonchalant about it.
Yeah, they're most of the people in there are the people that you saw. There are obviously other people in there, and like it's the talk of the situation right now because it's the only like thing that's happened in this town in quite a while, especially involving these like weirdo foreigners that just came and like bought up a chunk of land. Like there are a lot of the people that you had seen there, and there are obviously new people, and they're talking about what had happened, a lot of what you experienced. Some people had like a similar experience as Dustin, where like they just got off a few hits and that was it. Some people seem to fight for a really long time. You know that you pick up that someone named Angril Rogan is the one who was chosen for today. That was posted at the end. I'll drop that name.
I feel like
Thank
that
you.
has to be the Dragonborn.
What? Not how I spelled it. Cool. Thank you.
Agreed.
Do I see that person? Is that person around?
You don't know who that person is?
Okay. So she'll be, in her spare time being like, "All right, who is Angril?"
Even with that investigation, you do find out that it was the Dragonborn that you had seen. He's not. He doesn't seem like he's not really talking about what he did, or like what like they put him through, or like how it went for him. He's keeping it very close to his chest, but he doesn't seem like overly prideful about it either. It's just like he's not. He doesn't seem to really care to, take part in the boasting and whatnot.
It's not
That's
like
going
gossip.
on. Yeah. Like he
Okay.
he like came in, he ate his food, he drank his drink, went back to his room, and now he's waiting X amount of days for like the actual interview.
I would definitely make sure to share that with the people that are going in tomorrow, specifically Xanroar, because he was interacting with him, right?
Yeah, Xanroar's going on the last day, but upon hearing that, you see him kind of like it looks like he focuses even more on what he's doing, and just kind
Is
of
there a Rocky theme
zones
slowly
in.
building up in the background?
Kind of. But yeah, he's
Music
like
coming from?
focusing in on his work.
So, anything else from anybody?
Yes.
Sure.
So in preparation for the fight tomorrow, Skippy would like to go to the river
Mm-hmm.
and try to pick up some like rocks, like not huge ones, but like small, like I guess palm-sized rocks.
Is possible.
And yeah, he'll just take like 4 or 5 of those and put them in his little satchel.
Okay.
And then he is going to go back to the house, draft up a resume.
Fuck.
And he will start working on his enchantment with the bell. And that will be the gnome enchantment that I was talking about.
Okay. So evening passes. Dustin cooks a hearty dinner for everybody. Morning comes, and it's Skippy's turn to go.
Yes.
Anyone joining him? I know Temperance had mentioned.
Xanroar's going to keep working.
Okay.
He must finish.
Sorry. There was like a giant motorcycle team going by my house. Yeah, Temperance wouldn't want Skippy to go alone, so I guess she'll loiter.
So it's the same as yesterday. Same dude sitting at the table, taking names, looking bored. On like what you guys missed yesterday after leaving is there's a big wooden board that had been affixed to the front of the gate that has Ongril's name on it, and it's like there's spots for like the next 2 people, and on the bottom it'll say for interview noon, and then it gives the date, like the date of the 4th day where like you would be meeting the the lord of the manor. And same thing as yesterday, the vizier comes flying in on his magic carpet, picks up people, takes them around, and he's wearing purple today. Same kind of like concept of like silky robes, very like well dressed, turban, just very flamboyant, big curly mustache, very big bright smile as he lands, and he what name does Skippy give a different name, or is
No, Skippy would probably at this point give Skippy's own name.
so
Be like, "Hello, I'm Skippy."
hello Skippy, and he motions for you to join him on the carpet.
All right, yeah. So Skippy, upon seeing the carpet, his eyes are gonna go big, and like he will get on, but first he's gonna like do some like little like looks at the carpet and like wave his wing under it and just like hop on and like inspect the carpet.
And
Love
Rihad just chuckles a bit and he's like, "It is fancy, isn't it?
It's very nice, sir.
One of my
It
prized possessions." And he pats it and it lifts up and flies you over the gate and in towards the manor house.
and during that time, Skippy would probably hand his resume over to this man and is like, are you who I give this to?"
He looks very curious about this, but he'll take it and he'll be like, you know, you're the first person to do this.
Well, as you can see highlighted on my resume, I graduated from the magic school in Mnemoneris with a specialization in. Oh my gosh, I'm so small compared to this guy. With a specialization in illusionary magic. However, I can do a lot of other stuff. Did I have enough time to finish my dialogue?
Probably no.
Okay.
But you could get through a good chunk of it. And wow, you really are small. Hold on a second. Oop, that's too big. Nothing works fast enough for me.
I'm gonna get the spell enlarge and shrink and become a giant Skippy.
There we go. So, and he will land, and as I'm sure you've heard, we are going to require a test of skill from you. And he gestures towards the woman who's still shifting back and forth in the sand. And she's just smiling, and it's not a gentle smile. Like, she's definitely having fun with this whole process. We would just like to see what you're capable of doing. And he makes a big, wide gesture for you to enter the quote-unquote arena.
Okay, Skippy is gonna ask, is like, so all I've heard is fighting. Is that the skill that you were looking for in this one, or?
Part of it. Like I said,
Oh.
we would like to see what you're capable of.
Okay, thank you. And Skippy will hop off, and he'll like wave his wing under the carpet again, and then just go and hop in towards the arena. And Skippy is going to just hop right up to the lady and be like, "Hello, my name is Skippy."
Hello, Skippy. She raises her brow. She's about, like, only a little bit taller than you. She's a halfling, and very small, very thin, very zippy about. And she has one whip out, like, in her hand at her side that she's just kind of making figure eights with in the air next to her.
That's impressive. And Skippy will also say that in character. And he will be like, I would very much like to solve this confrontation without resorting to violence.
She raises her brow and slowly, like, starts rolling up the whip.
So as and Skippy's going to do like a little air quote with his foot and be like, as a bodyguard, I realize that anytime combat is an option, that there is a higher chance that anybody can get hurt, including the person that I am protecting. So I would always like to resort to a non-violent solution before any harm can happen. That being said, if that is not an option, I understand, and we can begin the combat portion of things. But I would like to see if there was another method first.
She looks like
Skippy.
she looks bewildered. But so she hooks the wing on her belt, so she has two of them hanging on each hip, one hip at the moment, but she pulls a dagger and she's looking at it and just kind of like turning it over in her fingers. Like, do you know what a bodyguard does?
Yes, it protects the person sometimes with their body
From what?
from any sort of danger.
So she is going to try to stab you with the dagger. So she's like, you say danger, and then it's just like her shoulder cocks like really quickly, and her whole arm just like shoots forward, and is going to stab your little fluffy, feathery body, like right where the rib cage would be. Like, if this could hit you, it would probably have gone up into like your heart. But
Okay.
it doesn't actually contact, but you do feel like an like a sharp pain, like you did just get stabbed in the rib cage, but you're not actually injured.
All right. Skippy is going to sit there and he is going to say, "Okay, then. I look forward to our interaction." And he is going to flap back here.
Roll your d20 to see, because we have just to see who, just for fun.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Holy shiznit!
All right.
So flap, 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 flap. You're back.
All right. And Skippy is going to cast haste. Which will increase my AC by 2 and is an extra action.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is going to cast Mage Armor, which brings my AC from to a 19. And I totally forgot to mention this, but before he flapped back, he dropped the rocks on the ground in front of her.
Okay.
And I think that's my turn.
So the rocks are here. She's not going to step on them because she is not stupid, but she's going to come this way and is just going to pull her whip and is going to try to wrap it around your ankle.
Oh my gosh.
And essentially do a trip attack, which will pull you out of the sky. So you're whipped plus not the fire. Not that it matters. You're not getting damaged, but you're feeling like your leg just got torn up and you're pulled down. And superiority die is what? Remember how these fighters work.
Starts at D8, if I
think.
remember.
Well, it doesn't matter so much since you're not taking actual damage. You're just slammed hard into the ground, so wind gets knocked out of you.
A reaction, I am going to use shield.
Still doesn't. Still hits anyway.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Oh, well, yeah, okay. Well, okay, but my AC is now uber high.
24, I think.
Yes.
For the rest of to the end of your next turn, right? To the start of your next turn. Okay.
Oh, is it start? Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you are on the ground, and now it's your turn.
So Skippy is going to flap over here, and he's finally going to have a chance to do it.
Ooh. Wow. That was a good damage roll.
Is it like the vizier just sort of like leans back as this giant like ball of fire just erupts into the middle of the thing? Hold on. Dexterity. She's good at this. Not good enough. Oh, just good enough.
It need to barely
So
beat.
she takes what?
Half.
So it's like 17.
Roughly. That's good.
And as for his next move, he is going to make sure he does cast the right thing. Yeah, so for his next move, he will cast Shatter.
Well-
She's just making these. Is that half or is that nothing?
No,
She
12
would've-
fails.
Failed, yeah.
Oh, what am I
Unless
looking
unless
at
she
then?
has
No.
advantage.
You're right.
You were looking at the damage.
Yeah, I was looking at the damage, so that do fail. Whoops, wrong direction. There we go.
And with it, because my movement speed is doubled, so I'm going to fly 30 feet up.
So she looks stunned, a little singed. Not really singed. She would be singed. She would be very singed. But she is moving like she's burned, like like your skin gets tight and it stings. She's not actually like what the same spell that's affecting you is affecting her. And 30 feet up, and she kind of like cocks her head at you, and there's like a moment of hesitation, but then she kind of like holds up her hand and like waves it down at Skippy, like up at Skippy. All right, that's enough.
All right, Skippy will fly down to her, and he'll sit there and he'll be like, also highlighted on my resume that I gave to the man with the flying carpet, I am trained in multiple schools of wizardry, although I specialize with illusion. I have had many jobs as a detective where I
Okay,
have
well,
toppled
that's
assassins.
fine. That's for the actual interview, and
Oh,
she'll kind of like awkwardly pat him on the head and then like put a hand on his back and just shove him towards the exit.
and he's going to sit there and be like, "You're smart for not standing next to the rocks." And then he's just going to hop away and sit on the carpet with the vizier, and he's going to sit there and be like, "I think that went well."
It did. I was impressed. I was absolutely not expecting that.
Thank you. Are you a magic person too? And he's gonna like look at the carpet.
I am.
Ooh, what do you do? And he's gonna like for the rest of the trip be talking about magic with this man.
We don't have schools of quite the prestige that you have here in Mnemoneris, but I dabble mostly in transmutation, and he'll talk about stuff in a very vague way as you are brought back out.
Yeah, and so I'll probably be like explaining to him my ideas for a uh pocket dimension, and like, or I guess it was a demi-plane, and just like talking. Oh, there's no actual exit over here. Yeah, just be talking to him about like all that stuff on the ride, and basically like, well, if you want to ever talk about more magic, my tower is to the direct north of here, and Skippy will fly to it.
Like, so Skippy returns. What is everyone else up to?
Now where the was, she had
I'm still working on my enchantment. He's very driven.
Leaf is suffering.
I'm down by the river, my feet in, just twirling a knife, enjoying the sunshine.
It's a nice day. Does anyone want to do anything for this day before we move on to Xanroar's?
Yes, Skippy is going to go outside and start setting up tents. Because I used both my 3rd level spell slots. And depending on... Yeah, so this tower's not gonna be existing after tonight until I redo it tomorrow.
That's sure a thing. I'm sure Dustin would help out with that. Next day rolls around. Xanroar.
Yeah, I'm heading over. Got all my gear.
So there is a second name on the board. And it is not Skippy.
Oh.
It is a very elven name.
Uh-oh.
Ara is now concerned.
I don't recognize it. We're good.
You would, but you're not there to
what?
see it.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
So Skippy probably would go to the place. Is Telendil land Larenshore there when...
Do you know who that is?
No,
well,
but
this would have been posted the night before. They posted at night.
okay.
So like the people generally who are showing up now are for today's people. There are less people. Like every day there's less people. There's notably less people today.
I have the best odds.
So same situation.
Going and observing armor of others as per usual. Armor and weapons.
Same. There's nobody here that seems, like no one's standing out like the Dragonborn had. You seem to be the heaviest of armors, like most heavily armored person. And same situation. You are brought in by the
Vizier.
the vizier on the carpet. Is there anything you'd say?
Yes, actually.
Curious.
On the right over, I'm just gonna kind of turn to him. So this is to be the bodyguard for the young master.
Why, yes. That is.
How old, if I may ask?
He is 15 this past spring.
Does he listen well when others inform him of stuff that will make sure he's safe?
He kind of shrugs most of the time if the danger is apparent. But he is young, he is impetuous. He pauses. Let's just say he thinks he's more prepared for the world than he is.
I know the type. I've dealt with such before. He's gonna reach over and hand him a very nice looking platinum ring. How I like to show off my abilities is with true demonstration, if you wouldn't mind being a part of that. I've heard what goes on.
Like as you're landing, he's part of it? What do you mean? He's looking over the ring, and you could tell, like, he gets
it's
that
not
look,
magical at all.
And he gets the look like he's looking to see, like, if this is something.
I give him a grin. It's not magical. It's a conduit for one of my abilities to ensure others are protected. I would ask that you be the stand-in for the young lord, as I'm supposed to be defending someone. This is the best proof of it.
Hmm. He twirls his mustache. He's like, interesting. I think I'll take you up on that. And he'll slide the ring on.
All right. As I'm walking in, I'm going to cast Warding Bond on him. So it's a second level spell. It lasts for an hour, and he gets +1 to all his AC and all of his throws, and resistant to all damage. Any damage he does take, I take half. So it's basically like any damage he takes, half of it goes to me instead.
Hmm. Very curious. So, do you want to pull yourself onto the board?
Right.
And he will follow you in from behind. I gotta fix everyone's tokens. This is annoying. Okay. And she raises a brow, and he looks over at her and just sort of like smiles and shrugs.
I'm supposed to demonstrate I'm able to defend another. This is the best way. I'm going to turn and also cast Sanctuary on him. Let's begin. And I'm going to unfurl my shield. And
Clunk.
here, I have a... damn it, I sent a gift to Skippy and Athy about it.
Yes.
I'll pick it up later, but basically the big slab of metal extends into a large shield.
Suddenly tower shield. So roll your d20. So she's given you a look, and she is going to dart this way. 5. Just around you to get to here. And she's just going to test whip at the vizier.
She has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
DC 14.
Nope.
She can't target him.
So she could target you.
Correct.
Thwap. No, like nothing can ever touch you ever.
Well, currently my AC is 22.
Yes.
I have half cover. Anything else?
She's going to pull her other whip and just kind of like look between the two of you, like what just happened. But that's it. She's holding her
All right.
ground. Tiny little halfling, like glaring up at this big half-orc.
All right, I'm going to slide in between her, and I'm going to cut my speed in half to gain 3/4 cover. I shall then cast Spiritual Guardians. So that's a 15-foot radius. Her movement speed is halved, and she has to make
15. Hold on.
Dex save.
That's 15 feet, right? Yep.
Yeah, 15-foot radius. And all of her speed is half while within it.
There you go. And another
Perfect.
Dex. Where are you, Dex? Dex.
Well, she only takes half. And the shield is just up, blocking her entire view of the vizier.
Okay. So, So what do your spirit guardians look like?
As he like grabs his holy symbol, and out comes like what look to be little flame spirits, as well as a mix of a number of clockwork beings. A number of them are Chewinga, but others are just other mythical creatures or kind of just automaton-looking people.
So she is going to go ow. She's going to she's going to take the attack of opportunity and dart out to here. So that's 5, 10. Wait.
It's ×2 while in the zone. And I have disadvantage on this attack because of the shield.
Yes. She kind of like arches her back. It's just like, no! But she is dropping her whip and like you could tell enough just by looking at her that like she's pulling a crossbow, but like you could tell that she's like, yeah, this is gonna freaking work. But 28 at
Yeah,
the
that
Vizier.
that hits. It,
But she needs to
she has to
make the wisdom
wisdom
save.
save.
If it's not at him, it's going to be at you.
Me.
Wisdom.
Okay, she passes.
So whack.
So he'll take only half damage, and the rest of it will go to me.
Let's see how much that'd be. Bump.
So I'll take 6, he takes 5.
And like you can hear him like but it's the same as it's been. Like he's after stepping into this area, he's not taking the damage, but ow.
But yeah, you see a little tether between the two of us, and kind of like a red streak of energy going from him to me, and I kind of wince a little bit with that.
She looks surprised that that works, and she's going to try again because she does have an extra attack.
Has
She's
to make
not
another wisdom
playing.
save.
Yes, she's not playing anymore. Nope. So this is at you.
Mm-hmm.
Bong. 8.
And if I've just hits.
And that's it for her. She can't move any further for this round.
All right. I'm going to cut my speed in half to get the 3/4. Step forward so she's in the zone, so she has to make the save again.
He's gonna hide behind you. Technically.
As he should.
and wisdom save. She's apparently great at these.
It's not wisdom, it's Dex for the
Whoops.
spirit guardians.
Dex.
She's still good. But still half.
Yes. What was that?
As an action, I will take the dodge action, and as a bonus action, I will cast Spiritual Weapon, which will appear right next to her in
Bong.
this area. And yeah.
Rolls.
Gonna miss, but
it like
an anvil
slams
lands
down
right
next
next
to her. And it's probably roughly the same sizes. She might like be able to see like over top of it, but just blap, and the sand just poofs up, and she...
And I'm gonna turn to the Vizier, just take cover, and basically give him a command to dodge and hide behind me.
So he will dodge.
And put the hand around the shield and come at me, fingers.
And she's going to run that way. And she can't see Vizier. She's just gonna kind of like look at this whole situation. Be like, you know what? Okay. She puts her hands up. She's like, I get it. But she's actually laughing. She's like, okay, this is like a lot. She like had to like jump, like climb, like jump over the anvil, and like she's like getting down off the anvil, and she's like, why am I doing this? Okay.
I just kind of retract the shield back into the normal form and just. Do I need to show more?
This is good. This is very good. And she comes
Sure.
over, and she'll like reach up and like pat him on the forearm because that's probably as far as she can reach. She's
Yeah,
like,
I'll drop the spirit guardians and everything.
She's like, you done good, kid.
I know what I need to do, and I do it well.
And between the two of them, like you could tell that they're not being overtly like surprised, but you could tell like you left an impression.
I'm going to turn to the vizier and thank you for being a part of my demonstration. And I'll
The pleasure was mine.
put my hand out. Put my hand out for the ring.
And
It is quite costly.
like, oh yes, and he'll take it off and hand it back.
And I'll just kind of hold it up again. Also, a great way to locate anyone who decides to run off.
This isn't any sort of magic I know of, he says as he leads you back. The sort that you do. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, as he's leaving, he's gonna give a short bow to her and head off.
She'll like bow her head and shoulders and then salute. And
It's what I do.
Back. Clearly. And you are dropped off. What do you do now? There are a number of people waiting to go still.
I head back to Skippy's tower if it's still there.
So it would be there now. It wouldn't have been there when you left.
Fair enough. I go back to work. It's what Xanroar does.
Xanroar went, came back, says nothing to anyone apparently. Goes right back to work. So what's
I
up?
think it went. He would have told them he thinks it went well.
Would
And he'll actually show off his shield because now that it's been displayed, he'll show it to everyone else. And he's very proud of it.
Compensating for something?
I
It
think
means surviving.
I was joking. It's a very fine shield.
would there have been enough time for the bell?
Probably. I would say yes.
So then Skippy is going to hop up to Xanroar and be like, Xanroar, I made something today.
Xanroar will raise an eyebrow. Alright. Show me what you got.
And Skippy is going to place the cowbell down on the table next to Xanroar. And like he's gonna like be like hopping a little bit in excitement, and then just looking at Xanroar and like going back and forth between the bell and Xanroar.
I look between Skippy and the bell. Is it magic in some way?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he'll sigh, pick it up, and identify it.
Oh, that's no fun.
He must know how things work. This shouldn't be new.
Well, are you gonna sit there and let him are you casting it at
No, he'll
10 minutes, or are you just casting it?
It's always prepared, so he'll just cast it. He's got the spell slot. Takes a minute, looking it over. What's it do?
So as he begins to cast this, Skippy's just going to get like frustrated and just pick it up and start ringing the bell. As he rings this cowbell, 4 gnomes appear around Skippy.
I wish I could show the confused look that I'm doing to mimic Xanroar, but okay.
And Skippy is going to hold it out to Xanroar and be like, I call it the Bell of Novan Kind. Nomen? Nobish? Novian? Nomian kind.
That is very unique, Skippy.
So like he hands the bell
When-
to you, and like the slight movement of the bell moving to you, like the gnomes, like they don't actually move; they just shift to encircle you.
You see Ara like walking back from the river and just sees this and just turns around, walks back.
We're still confused. So, what is the purpose of this? When would you use such a thing?
What? You shouldn't use one of these for anything. And like Skippy's gonna say that almost as in like, because Skippy, he wants to like make stuff because Xanroar makes stuff, but he wouldn't actually like not that he wouldn't understand, but he wouldn't fully get like the idea behind actually crafting and creating stuff to be useful. So Skippy would only make stuff to be entertaining towards Skippy.
He'll hand the bell back to Skippy.
And so
Still quite curious as to when you would use such a thing.
Parties?
I guess that's reason enough. I don't know much about enchanting. I'm kind of just learning that myself. But very interesting, Skippy. He'll give him a head pat.
There appears to be more confusion over the gnomes.
Temperance hasn't quite gotten there, and she's just like, "Oh, great, Xanroar's back." And Ara's like, "No, he has gnomes." And
They
I'm
are
like, like a
gnomes.
disease, or
Like measles,
I have
only
gnomes
gnomes.
disease.
What's with this group and stealing live things? Why?
I don't know. There was just gnomes and they were holding a bell. I don't.
And so, how many gnomes and how many bells?
One bell, 4 gnomes,
One.
two people, one Skippy, one bird, one orc.
4 gnomes, 1 bell, 1 orc, 1 skip. Okay.
Yes.
And she'll kind of walk up and just try and make sense of the gnomes. Are they doing anything? Like dancing or just standing there?
So how long would it have taken you to have this interaction? And because are you at the tower?
Yeah, she was just waiting for Xanroar to come back.
Oh, okay. So I thought you were off. Sorry. So yeah, there are just gonna be 4 gnomes, and they're just standing there, looking off, all in the same direction, in like a perfect square. Yeah, just standing, looking off into the distance.
What did you do, Skippy?
And Skippy's
Terrifying.
Skippy's just gonna sit there and be like, "Don't worry, this is nothing like the bunnies." And then he's going,
What?
Bunnies?
Don't. The bell makes gnomes, and he's gonna like be like hopping around the room ringing the bell, which
Look,
is
I
a cowbell.
I don't understand magic as well as you do, but you're going to have to connect a few more dots there. No, the bell makes the gnomes. Where did the gnomes come from? Are they dead inside? They look, and she like waves her like hand, finger, wings in front. Like they look pretty dead inside.
I would feel like you're observant enough to realize that they're not real. Like when
they,
you get close and like wave
So
it.
they're just like statues?
They're
That'll
illusions.
freak her out too. Okay. And what purpose do they serve? Are they watchers? Do they alert you to the presence of danger, or
Well, I mean, I'm sure if I put time into it, I can make them make noise. But
well, what do they do now?
they appear, and that's it.
Realizing that that's probably the end of the sentence, and that was the ta-da. She's like, oh, that's. I mean, 4 is many more than 1, which is
I think
impressive
this is
in and of itself.
technically his first magic item creation that I'm aware of.
Yes.
So he made a thing with magic.
I don't quite understand the point of the thing, but that's not important. It's a thing, 4 things, plus 1 thing. Good job, Skippy.
Can I see an arrow?
I shot an arrow. I don't know if it hit or not.
What are you trying to hit?
Not any of you. One of the gnomes.
It would
Ours-
go right through. It's not moving. It's not a difficult to hit target.
Is it stuck in the ground?
Yes.
Skippy's gonna pull it out of the ground, look at it, and be like turn to R and be like, because imagine you're away and be like, oh my gosh, you're right. And then
what am I right about?
Skippy's just gonna flap off, carrying this bell, which is like, I would imagine just clinging as I fly. And
the
I
gnomes
assume,
follow.
yeah, the gnomes just shift up with Skippy as he flies away.
Really weird.
I just walk up and what in God's name?
Did you shoot at it?
I just wanted to see if they were corporeal, and they were.
They weren't. Wait.
I mean, they weren't. I mean,
They were
You
not.
made a bell.
sorry.
It's double negative.
Yeah, sorry. So they're just. You know what? I don't want to know. Where's my arrow?
He took it.
I'm sure we'll find out what that's for. How'd it go?
I think it went pretty well. They were a little surprised, especially when. And he'll extend the shield into its full position. This came out.
Well,
See, now that I understand.
that is useful. For gnomes, not so much.
It's not bad for his first attempt at something.
Oh no, don't
Just
get me
what I
wrong.
first made.
I'm impressed beyond all measure, but I'm also. I don't think it's for the reason he wants.
Confused.
Yeah.
Equal both.
Yes, of course.
Definitely confusing as to why one would make such a thing, but he made something.
Yes. Well, fantastic. We'll check back tonight and see if you made it in.
We shall see. Oh, there was another name posted for last night, and I'm blanking on what it was, but he'll tell it to Ara. How do you say it, Athy?
Telenadil Larnshore.
Lenadil Larnshore. One yesterday.
Do I? Me don't recognize.
Yes, but you.
But
They are from Starhue. They were a a duelist of renown. Very skilled in sword fighting. Kind of like a popular figure. People like to see him fight, not like in a gladiator sort of way, but in a like a duelist competition way. And most of the time he fought in like sanctioned duels, and sometimes he didn't, and he beat the wrong person. And you don't know the details, but you do know that it ended up being a fall from grace kind of situation where his reputation ended up being tarnished for not fighting. It wasn't a sanctioned duel. He shouldn't have been fighting who he was fighting, and like that family freaked out because he won, and it was just like a whole big drama, like celebrity drama situation.
Yeah.
So like you haven't really heard much. You haven't heard the name in like 50 plus years kind of situation. But like he had been like a really big name once upon a time. And now he's just here. Get like looking for bodyguard work with some like weird ass foreign family. So like
Yeah.
he kind of fell hard.
I'll just look at Xanroar and say, well, let's hope the final test isn't you having to duel each other.
Shouldn't be a problem.
I suspect you might have some trouble with that one.
I'm more interested in the Dragonborn.
Of course you are.
From what you guys know, it is just meant to be a interview with the Lord of the Manor. And they are in town. Especially if their names are on that that board, they are ones that are remaining. Ooh.
Well then, I am going to go into town for a little bit. I'll be back for dinner.
Have fun. I got
Of
some
course.
things I want to work on. And Athy, I'm going to work on that thing I sent you.
Okay.
Using my Channel Divinity, since it has metal in it.
Let me just take a quick look at
The show.
Okay. So, Ara.
Hello. I am going to do the real gamer move and go to that bar inn that we were at.
The swinging sword.
The swinging sword, yes.
They love us there.
Yeah, occasionally throughout the day you do hear like the sword swinging and cracking against the metal shield-shaped gong to alert the hour.
Yes, I will go in and get a drink. And I'm going to be looking for my elvish friend. Not like, going door to door knocking, but just kind of like drinking for an hour or two and just kind of keeping an eye out to see if I see an elf person walk in or in and around.
He will show up eventually. He seems to be by himself. He is tall, slender, like the stereotypical like high cheekbones, pointy ears, dark hair. He's got breastplate and armor, and it's nice armor. He has a fancy sword. He still looks like you would expect a a celebrity duelist to look. Like he's keeping that persona up.
Yeah.
But he wanders back into the bar, and he appears to be heading towards like the where the rooms are down the hall.
Fantastic. I will No, that's a horrible idea. I will flick a silver to ye old barkeep and just say something fine and preferably elvish to that gentleman's room, if you wouldn't mind.
Elvish. Well, we don't have any of that sort of thing here, but she'll pull her nicest wine of that would suit the cost that you paid
Of course.
and show it, and then so just to his room.
Yes, and
Any message?
no. No, thank you. Thank you for your help. And I will just finish my drink and leave.
Okay then.
Oh, yep. That's all I wanted.
Okay.
Very simple. For now.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
Yeah, can I actually just go and buy another bell?
Sure.
Except this one will be like not a cowbell, but like just a normal
Need more
handbell.
cowbell.
And I'm gonna start working on another bell with a different illusion. Because Skippy has a debt that he needs paid.
Okay.
Ooh, who's this debt to?
To the wizard
Ooh.
in the bar.
Noise.
And also as I notice your question, no. You'd have to break the illusion. You could still use the same bell, but you'd have to like undo what you did.
I don't think Skippy will ever destroy his first magic object. Although I do wonder, would they have like taught this in wizard school?
Like baking enchanted items?
Yeah.
Probably there were classes for it, because theoretically any magic user can, like mechanically any magic user can create a magic item as long as they either one make a like a recipe for it, find a recipe for it, have the materials and the time. It's harder when you've never like created the thing before. This wasn't very difficult, and you have the skill in illusion. But like if you're gonna start making more complicated things and you don't have a guide to teach you how to do it, you'll have to roll to figure out how to do it before you can roll to make it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that goes for anybody wanting to make a thing, regardless of how. So, like if you don't have a like schematics, then you have to figure out how to make the schematics before you can make the thing. But okay, so you can get back to work on making whatever it is you're making now. Anyone
Making
else have
things is
any
awesome.
thoughts? Temperance?
I mean, Ara seems to have effectively stalked the second winner. So she's gonna go for trying to find out anything about the one who won on the first day. If he's has any friends in town, where he's from, find out any information she can about him, and maybe even try and share a drink with him, seeing as how their chances are all resting on Xanroar right now, and the shield is impressive for sure, but she doesn't like those odds.
So roll and investigate.
She's being a real creeper. But not much.
You don't find much out by asking around. but eventually, like, he does go to the tavern for food, but he is by himself. Like, which
his one
would
weakness.
probably be why nobody knows much about him. He's not sharing. He doesn't seem very social.
She'll buy him a drink and try and be that one person that makes things not uncomfortable, but just friendly, the right amount of friendly, and try and talk to him, see where he's coming from.
Sitting at a table by himself. Like, he's a big guy. Like, he's
What race is
pushing.
he again?
He's a Dragonborn. He is
Oh, okay, yeah.
a red Dragonborn. He is pushing the medium size level, like very, very big. And he's sitting there. He's got like lots of meats that he's munching on, and a big tankard of ale. And he's just sitting by himself and enjoying his food. And this little blackbird has to come up and bother him. So like she gets a glare.
Bother him with a free drink. Free drink.
So
whatever you're drinking.
Harsh look. Just
Do I know, like
chewing.
out of character, why Xanroar and him didn't get along exactly? Like, would Xanroar have been like, I hate this guy because he smells funny, or?
Oh no, he wouldn't have said anything about it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
You were there. Your passives are redonkulous, so like you could have overheard their conversation easy enough, and like it just seemed that Angrel,
my shield.
yeah, what had like did not approve of using a shield, and seemed to insinuate that Xanroar was a coward because he carried a shield.
Okay.
And
well, definitely won't bring that up at all.
So
the minimalist style, it seems to have prevailed on day one. Congratulations.
He's chewing a big mouthful of meat, and then he swallows and looks down very far at the little bird. He's like, what do you want?
Just, congratulating the fellow competition. There a lot of interesting characters have been brought in for this competition. Just thought it'd be nice to get to know those involved.
You failed
Where do you
already.
hail from?
What does it matter?
Failed is a strong word. I mean, I like to think that maybe you were just more, fit for the position. And she kind of just looks at the size of him in general. It was a long shot for me anyway.
Oh?
Do you do this kind of work often? Ooh. Wild Dustin appears.
I heard gnomes.
We'll catch up in a sec.
You would not have heard the gnomes because they do not have sound effects yet.
Keyword being yet.
Yeah, because they would have screamed when they were shot with arrow.
What?
So
Aura being aura.
Temperance is currently chatting up the Dragonborn from day one, who was the one that had been picked for that day, and it's not going well. So, what was the question again?
She's just trying to find out like where he hails from, and what kind of work do you do this work often? Is this your forte? Is the bodyguard work, or are you more of an adventurer? Just trying to get anything out of him at all.
And he's just eating, and you could tell that he's thinking as he's like chewing slowly and swallowing, and why not just ask me what you want to ask? All this runaround is tiring.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm just genuinely trying to get to know what up until the thing was posted was my competition, but really just trying to get to know what brings you to be a bodyguard for this family. Besides money, you seem like the type that isn't just motivated by money. So maybe you are.
Is there a reason why?
Why I want
You
to know?
failed. I did not. If I further impress them, I will stay. You will not.
Right. You've been over that point already. I realize that you won. I'm just look, if you'd rather not talk about, where you come from and why you're vying for this position, that's fine, and I will
Why
take my
is the
leave. You can enjoy.
question? Why are you asking? Why does it matter? We will never see each other again.
Hey, DM.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. What time of day is it?
Mid-afternoon.
Anything like dinner time?
Not yet.
Okay. Never mind. Sorry.
So,
That's not necessarily true, but if you're working in this same town that me and my companions happen to be also living and working in, I mean, it stands to reason that we may run into each other from time to time.
we'll work for the Antar family, not for the town.
No, but I imagine that the family will occasionally need things from the town. I mean, they're not completely self-sufficient, although they are extravagantly wealthy. They'll need to come into town from time to time. Our paths may cross. That's the only thing I was trying to impart, but that's fine. Go ahead, have a good dinner then. You take care. And she'll just walk away. Like, she wasn't trying to piss him off, and he seems to be being, like, exceptionally, like, don't care.
He's very, like, you're getting the impression that, like, he's not mad at you for trying to talk to him. He just honestly doesn't seem to understand the point.
Is this in a tavern? And is there anybody else in the tavern or place?
This is in the Swinging Sword. Probably around the same time, if not like right before or after Ara had stalked the other
Yeah,
one.
Temperance and Ara could have just been like, all right, you got number 2, I'll go get number 1.
Oh,
Yours
yeah.
worked out way better.
Because that was like over a course of like 2 hours or so, like trying to find these people. But in that same time frame, probably not at the exact same time, but like he doesn't seem to grasp like why you care, like why you would want to get to know him if you're done with what you're gonna do and going to be moving on. Like he's.
Well, she never said that. He didn't ask why she, wanted to do it either. And if he had even hinted at that, she would be like, well, we're, not revealing all the information, but just say, the family has something of interest to us, and they're tied into another. She'll whip out the detective agency card. They're tied into another thing that we're investigating, and we thought if we could 2 birds, 1 stone. I hate that saying, but at least that's my reasoning. I genuinely just wanted to know if you had something beyond money for yours. Do you have friends? Do you know what friends are?
It's like they get in the way.
I mean, they die often, I'll give you that.
It's like, and he's just like, just need a job. That's as much as like he's saying.
Okay.
He doesn't seem like he's hiding anything.
He's just that simple.
He's simple. there's more to it, but like at least for his current goals, that's why he's here.
Okay. She'll just she'll leave her business card and just be like, well, we're staying at, well, and she'll kind of think of the tower and be like, well, and then tense, and then we're staying outside of town, so if you ever need a drinking companion, we have a number of people that enjoy doing that.
He
Take
grunts.
care. Good luck. She'll come back and find Ara at some point, I imagine, and be like, mine did not go well.
He does, in some ways, remind you of Xanroar, like how standoffish Xanroar is, but it's almost kind of like you feel like if Xanroar didn't have people, that's what he'd become.
Yep. I also think that, like, being next to Xanroar, I know he's working towards a thing. Like, Xanroar is constantly... He's short, he's curt, he's very to the point, but he's working towards a thing. With this guy, I'm like, what's your thing, dude? And he was like, bugger off. Flick, little bird, go away. So that's what I'll report to Ara, is be like, I didn't... Very similar to, but just, less friendly.
Well, mine went swimmingly. Yeah, I found him. I'm glad. Did you learn anything in particular, or was it just kind of like grunts and mutters like the other big man is?
Very similar, only less friendly. I mean, I didn't really learn anything aside from he was very distrusting of my intentions, and I didn't really get much past that. But we'll see how it goes. I guess Temperance, I would want to share with Ara, like, the similarities in just what we saw of the two contestants. Like, are they wildly different? Are they trying to get like a good mix? She's just trying to put the pieces together of what they're looking for.
Them a drink.
What was that?
Give them a drink.
Yeah, I bought him a
Yes.
drink.
Okay.
Didn't really soothe anything. I did invite him back here to our tent tower situation, should he need a companion. I don't think he'll be taking us up on that offer.
Well, if he does, we'll certainly see him coming.
He is large, yes.
He is imposing.
Gnomes.
Yeah. Skippy made his first enchanted item, and it generates 4 gnomes that stare lifelessly off into the distance.
Wait, it generates gnomes?
It generates gnomes.
Yep. The arrow. If you shoot him with an arrow, the arrow will pass through them. Oh, and you also missed Xanroar, as the kids might say, big dicking the test.
What does that mean?
Oh, come on.
It means he started out with 1 number of AC, and he ended up with a very high AC and a lot of spells around him.
Jesus.
Spirit Guardians defending a guy behind me with 25 AC, and that wasn't even my final form.
Yes, there was gnomes. There was big dicking of small ladies.
Oh no!
She literally ran away and
Phrased
gave
a
up.
little different.
That was too much information that I needed.
I'm probably just gonna put the bell on Shelby, so every time she's moving, 4 gnomes will just be there, staring lifelessly.
Her mouth waters.
You know, it's actually even worse. She should have been taking more damage because she would have taken them at the start of her turn in the area.
Listen, Xanroar, she's already dead. Okay, stop beating the horse.
Shelby's not around here.
Hey. Anyway, dinner time.
Yes.
Family dinner before the big day tomorrow?
Well, tonight I'm gonna go check and see if I actually made the list. Or
Oh, yeah, that's
Xanroar
right.
made the list.
There's a list.
Oh, there's a
gotta
list.
Gotta go back to
Schindler's
Xanroar
List.
voice.
I'll go with you. I don't know where the list. I don't know the list. I'll say the list.
Oh yeah, every evening they post the name of whoever won that day.
Oh.
You did not make it.
We know there's a big Dragonborn, an elven fighter person from my home, and hopefully our big friend here.
Cool.
Also, I think-
the other two, like duelist boy to be very fast fighting, very rapier. Like they're both sword fighters, but they're both very different sword fighters. The Dragonborn had great sword. So more smash than delicate dancing about and fencing.
It's like when the guy from the Princess Bride goes up against Andre the Giant.
Yes.
All right.
And I have a shield.
You said I didn't make it?
Nope.
Unfortunately, no.
Let's see who did. I'm going with you, if that's all right.
So you go after you know the skill tests to be over, and there's the two names that were there before, Angro Rogan, Telenadil Larenshore, and then you'll see Xanroar, whatever name that he gave them.
His
the bottom.
name, Xanroar Forgeheart.
Yes. So you will be affixed to the bottom. And this is a wooden bit, and you see why it's a wooden. Like they set it up as wood because it does look like frustrated people who did not make the cut did stab or try to smash at the thing. So a piece of paper would have been destroyed. But
Dustin's going to shake Xanroar and be like, "You did it! Good job! How'd it go?"
Fine.
You don't seem too
And,
excited.
and tomorrow at noon, the three of you are supposed to converge here.
He kind of looks over to Dustin. I don't exactly do well with nobles.
Maybe not, but at least it's good insight. And plus, they might have some armor and some other weapons that might give you an idea of what to craft.
Yeah, but I doubt they know how to use them.
You're not wrong. All right. Should we get back? I should start on dinner. I'll take that as a yes. Dustin's gonna skip back.
Skip.
Yeah. Ba-boof, ba-boof, ba-boof.
I'm just gonna make that thing and go turn in.
Did you make it?
Me or him?
Indeed.
Him. Interesting.
Does anybody have any plans for the evening?
How long would it take to make another one of those bells?
Oh no.
Is it doing anything more than a cantrip?
So, yes, this one will be more of like a literal bell for a door. And when rung, a big red sign will pop up with that'll say "Go."
Say what? You cut off.
Ruh-roh.
Nelson.
Or right now.
Oh.
You are breaking up horribly, sir.
Oh dear. Okay. 1 second.
So you're a bird, not a tear.
Try closing stuff. Am I better?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially what Skippy wants to make is a bell with a big red sign that comes up when rung that says "Go away," and it will be accompanied by the voice of Skippy saying, "Hello, the person."
You just exploded again.
Is this intentional? Is this how his things are supposed to work?
That's how it sounds currently.
Is that magic? It sounds metallic-y.
Uh-oh. Well then.
Temperance starts clapping like, good job, you...
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, gamer. Well then, dinner time until our bird friend is done in the Shadow Realm.
Hello.
I hear
Hello?
you.
Okay.
Sort of.
Is his doorbell designed to just say hello repeatedly?
No, it's designed to tell people to go away.
Well, you're kind of having the opposite effect right now. It currently says a metallic hello every 10 seconds or so.
If that's all it does is just make that illusion, then it would take like 8 hours. If it makes noise, it would take more, because it's a different spell.
So for Skippy, like the minor illusion spell is, I have the improved minor illusion, so it is the same spell for
Okay, then yeah.
visual and audio.
Then that counts.
So yeah, but I wouldn't have enough
like
time to finish that.
you could make something make sound
Yeah.
for free, essentially.
Oh.
It's not like 2 separate spells.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking, because I don't wizard.
Yes.
So I'm not...
Yes. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's same spell, visual and audio, all wrapped up in one minor illusion.
Then yes,
'Cause of
it's
my
like
school.
if you're just casting a minor thing, it's not gonna, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
That is fine. Yes.
So if Skippy had enough time to do that, he would like to go deliver the bell to the wizard in the tavern.
Okay.
I know, it's ironic that I'm going to visit the wizard that doesn't want to be visited to give him a bell to tell people not to visit.
God damn it.
Oh, my heart.
Roll a persuasion to see if he'll open the door.
So Skippy's very bad at this. 8.
No,
Oh.
you don't get responses. to
Skippy's just gonna sit there with the bell, and just like hang it on the door with a little string, and be like, "I hope it works for you." And then he's going to ring it, and it's going to come up with a big red sign, and Skippy's voice telling Skippy, "Hello, the person within this door is not taking any visitors right now. Please leave." And then Skippy will respond to the bell and be like, "Okay." And he will hop away.
That's actually beautiful.
When Skippy gets back, Dustin's gonna have his apron on. He's gonna be like, Skippy, I need your opinion on something.
Yes.
I want to try to make something new, but I need someone's opinion. I'm thinking of taking like a pastry, like how I make a pastry, but instead of a dessert, make it into like a dinner. Like maybe put some sauce on it, maybe put some cheese.
Like sweet rolls for dinner?
Like
And
kind
then
of sweet rolls for
start
dinner.
popping around.
A little bit. I want to try it. Let's see. And Dustin's gonna start to cook. And Dustin's gonna try to make pizza.
Roll an intelligence to create the recipe for pizza, or like, I'll let you roll cooking.
Roll for pizza.
Yeah, roll for pizza.
Oh, it's right here. What do I roll in intelligence?
Just like, cause you're creating a recipe. If you have cooking tools, like if you're proficient in cooking tools, I'll let you use that. I know you have them. I don't know if you're proficient in them, but
Tool proficiencies, cooking utensils.
with intelligence.
With intelligence. Okay.
Yes.
Oh!
Oh my god.
You
That
have.
is how you crit.
You have created pizza, and it's the most amazing thing any of you have ever eaten.
I want to call this the Dustin. Maybe No, you know what? I'm gonna name it the Skippy. It's your Skippy.
Skippy pie.
Skippy pie. Everything the lad touches will be your Skippy pie.
This is fantastic, but I can't help but feel that I'm going to be breaking out horribly for the next few days after eating this.
Oh, probably. I use a lot of oil. Alright. Oh, this is good. And
This is
Dustin's gonna
definitely-
go in bed with a full tummy of pizza.
Is Shelby aggressive?
Left field. Skippy, what are you doing out in left field?
No.
Okay.
Everything
Shelby
about her
has-
being a cannibal is our headcanon.
Yes, everything about it's mostly Dustin feeding her jerky was where I think that started,
Okay.
Yes.
or like anything that he happens to have on his person goes into Shelby at some point. As a
How's our wolf
Uh,
pet doing, by the way? Our wolf
Yeah.
bull?
I need to go get things for him. I meant to go do that the first day, and that never happened.
I mean, like you had like lots of downtime the past couple of days. You could have gotten like an actual pot or
Yeah. Pot, proper soil, make sure to get enough water for it, etc., etc.
So you had pizza for dinner. It was awesome.
I'm so happy.
Or technically, would you say that you had Skippy for dinner?
Please.
Oh,
Magpie.
God.
So I love the thought of Skippy was off working on an illusion thing, and he comes downstairs to everybody to like Dustin explaining, all right, so we're gonna have Skippy for dinner, and Skippy's just like standing at the top of the stairs like, what do I do? What do I do?
You're just in time, Skippy, to cut the first slice.
Skippy's gonna like hold a fireball in his hand like, everybody stay back!
Suicide Skippy. Oh, what am I doing with my life?
Good things. You just created pizza.
Yes. So now you could recreate pizza whenever you want.
Oh, I can start making different kinds of pizza.
So you could put pizza recipe as something you now have.
Yes! Yes! Okay, I'm muting myself because I'm gonna do this excited.
Okay. So evening is coming to a close. Pizza was tasty. Dustin's excited. Skippy was worried for his life for a little bit. Got a little bit of useful and not useful intel about the other two folk that have been chosen for the final interview. Is there anything else tonight or tomorrow morning before the interview situation?
Just finish that thing I messaged you about and
Mhm.
go to bed. It's been a long day.
And Ara, when you head up to your room, there is a bundle waiting for you of clothes, of armor.
A bundle?
A bundle.
Oh. Okay, I'll look at this bundle. I like bundles. What is this bundle?
Dark leather armor with some metal plates throughout it. It looks like it is specifically tailored and made so that the hidden blade that was made for you fits in it perfectly. Also looks like it'll give you a bit more sneaky sneak when you're in shadows.
Oh, I will try it on and tighten all the straps and that need to be adjusted.
Basically, it's light armor, base 12 plus dex. You need a 9 strength to have it, but you get +2 your stealth checks if you are not in bright light.
You need 9 strength?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do you not have 9 strength?
No.
That's
Well-
not really a thing that does 5e actually do that with strength?
It does it for like heavy and medium armor. I don't
I don't
know.
think
I mean,
with light armor it really does that.
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
a
just
3.5
custom
thing.
for the thing It was custom for the thing I found, but if you can make it so it doesn't require strength, sure.
Because I don't think it should for 5th edition.
Again, it was custom armor that I thought would be interesting.
Yes.
it's up to you, DM.
I'm gonna say, because it's leather armor, I'm gonna say that it will. It's light armor. It's not gonna be an issue.
All right. I will put it on and adjust it and very not so humbly check myself out and be very proud of the armor and remind myself to thank you in the morning.
It was the
and there's
first.
the link. Thank you.
It was the first trial that he made. There's more to come.
Fantastic.
So
For
morning rolls
others.
around. Xanroar, you're supposed to meet at the manor house at noon. Is there anything you or anyone wants to do prior to that?
In the morning, after dinner, can I see if out the balcony of the tower, if there's anybody new, shifty that came in that we haven't seen before?
After dinner or in the morning?
In the morning.
You're seeing people leaving more than coming. Like you're feeling
Okay.
like the last people trailing off who did not get a position. You wouldn't.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
guess we'll
you're
come back
really
with-
far. Not like as far, but like you're far away. But like you can see just like off in the distance, like people walking or horses here and there, like leaving. Nobody's showing up at any point anymore.
Cool. All right, then Dustin will walk down and be like, Xanroar, are you ready?
Should be fine.
Well. Oh, Nara, you're looking nice in your new armor.
Thank you. My friend here so finally crafted it for us. I'm not forgetting. I do owe you for this.
It's a prototype.
Well, it is quite. I'm quite a fan of it.
I plan on making more for anyone else who needs one, or anyone else who can wear such things. Looking over to Temperance. More used to dealing with that kind of physiology. Still getting used to the wings. But yours is next.
Looking forward to it. Temperance would have, if Xanroar would have permitted her, like, you know, what are you planning on, saying during your interview? Like, she's trying to be, God, she's so bad at being casual, but she's trying to like prep him for the interview. Just
We look like those.
What do
how
you
are you gonna
mean?
sell yourself? Do you want to do a practice interview? Would that help you?
Okay, that out of character. That's just making Connor nervous.
Oh, I don't have anything planned, but she's basically just
Oh
like,
yeah.
I wants to hear Xanroar say the word, like not say that he's just gonna wing it and meh. Because of everybody that wanted to get in, Xanroar was probably like, I will try and I don't care to like, and he got in. So she's like,
Oh, did he? Did I miss that?
Yeah, Samar
he
made
won.
it for the last day.
Oh, man.
So it's him against the Dragonborn. So she's also got
And the
concerns
elf.
about that.
You could always try to play mind games.
I look over to Ara. Do I look like the type to do such a thing?
You could play mime games. It's where mimes they have mime offs.
I am best at being direct. That is how I do things. That's how I shall proceed.
Let's practice that winning smile, Xanroar. You know, that always wins up. Okay, a little less tusk, maybe. Just okay. Well, maybe that's what they want. I don't know. She's just totally thrown off. She's did not she expected and equally didn't expect Xanroar to get in. So she's like, okay, well, best of luck. You know, remember, don't fight the Dragonborn. If anything, that would be a good day if you didn't fight the Dragonborn.
He's just gonna start lumbering off towards the place. I make no promises as long as he keeps his mouth shut.
Like this side of you.
She wants to go along. Like if they didn't like forbid loitering, again, she would definitely just every day show up there like outside the gates like, hi.
Skippy would also walk with Xanroar to the thing.
Yeah, they don't seem to care if there are people there, but you're not allowed past the gates.
Yeah,
But,
just kind of on the way there, Xanor will mention, if we go all together, it would look kind of suspicious. Why would a group of people all try and go for the same position, knowing only one could make it?
Oh, no. Temperance will separate like before we get super, super close, but she's been talking to everybody, so I don't think anybody would think that of her. She's been equally bothering lots of people involved in this.
I'm gonna hang back.
I think people are kind of just curious why there is a child applying for this position.
well,
Yeah, I'll hang back as well.
Yeah, the only people that are allowed in are the 3 chosen ones, as it were. But this time, the vizier is not there, and just one of the guards just checks you all, because Dragonborn and Elf are both there, or showing up within relatively the same amount of time. Timekeeping is not nearly as exact in this world as it is in ours, so roughly around the same time, the 3 of you show up. Telenadel is he's not as standoffish as Angril is, but like he is trying to make conversation, but he's having as easy a time as Temperance had trying to talk to this guy. He's just getting a lot of like various grunts that may or may not be actual responses.
I mean, you may or may not have chosen those people anyway, so just saying. Not saying.
And when the time comes,
I'm just imagining like Xanor and the Dragonborn are just like sparks flying between them, staring off, and the elf just kind of between the two of them, like, what the fuck did I get into?
I'm just imagining JoJo poses going off right now.
God damn it.
Skippy would probably say hello to the elf.
Oh boy.
like,
There's too many inner dynamics amongst all of these. Like, Ara's looking at the elf, and the elf is like, "What's up, Xanroar?" And Dragonborn.
No, Ara's very far away. She's at the tower.
But he looks down at Skippy and he's like, "What are you doing here, little boy?"
I am here to support my friend. What are you? I know what you're doing here. Congratulations. And he's gonna like look up at the elf.
Well, don't congratulate me yet. Congratulate me when I get the job.
Oh, okay. When will you know so I can know to congratulate you?
Hopefully today. They haven't been very forthcoming with details, but it shouldn't be too long. They need a bodyguard.
Oh, okay. I will make sure to stop by and congratulate you. How do you feel about gnomes?
Gnomes?
Yes.
They're interesting little folk.
Perfect. And then Skippy is gonna like get like that excited look in his eye because now he knows how to craft exactly one thing. And he's gonna be like, and he's gonna go to Temperance and be like, oh, when the elf gets the job, I'm gonna make him a congratulatory gnome.
No, Skippy, we're rooting for Xanroar. You know that, right? The main goal of the...
So after that, Skippy will walk up back to the elf and be like, and like almost embarrassed, be like, I'm sorry. I am cheering for the Half-Orc.
I forgot.
But I also I wish you the best of luck. But the Half-Orc is like a big brother, so I have to cheer for him. But if you still want a gnome, I can still make a gnome.
I don't need any gnomes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Would you like a hug?
He kind of looks over at Xanroar. He's like, "Is this yours?"
Kind of break my staring contest. He's a friend. He's always like that.
Skippy's just gonna look at Xanroar and be like, give him like a thumb up, bird thumb.
So eventually, one of the guards, on the inside opens the gate. Like it actually, for the first time, opens, and he calls for Angro Rugen, Telendel Larenshore, Xanroar Forgeheart. And he looks out over this small crowd that has gathered, apparently. Follow me. And he will lead you walking down the path towards the manor house. It's obviously longer walking than it is flying, but you get a better look at the grounds because you get to take your time. It is noticeably warmer in here, especially the closer you get to the manor house, and there are a number of the giant scorpions milling about the area. You are brought to the actual front door of the manor, where the vizier is waiting, and he stands straight and he claps his hands as you approach. And thank you very much for coming. If you don't mind, I will bring you both inside. We have some refreshments available if you would like. This is arguably the most important part of this this process, where you will speak to the Lord Antar himself. He is excited to meet all of you face to face. So he will lead you into the manor, and there's a big foyer as you walk in, big round rug, and off to the right there's a spiral staircase heading up. And this is the layout of this manor is still very similar to like the architecture of this country, though it seems like almost like blown out bigger. Usually you see like a lot of little rooms. There's a lot more open space on this floor, and he will bring you through kitchen area, and then there's a dining hall where he lets you guys there's food. It's very spicy. Like there's curry and rice and naan and all like that, various different like spicy dishes available for you guys to try. Everybody else is locked outside the gate and left to your own devices while this is going on. And there are a number of uh there are a number of servants, women in like loose clothing. Like the clothing is still very Persian, Indian sort of look to it. There are a number of servants here, men and women, but there don't seem to be like there seem to be more servants than there are like family. Like you don't see any of the family so far. It's just people bustling about, making sure things are clean. People in the kitchen cooking, making like each of you gets like your own individual serving person who comes up, and they're speaking common poorly. Like they're speaking like they're speaking like the language common to like the region of like the world they're from. Like humans and everyone, like they'll will have like your own language, but they're trying to speak common as best they can. They're getting their point across. Like, want drink, want food, what, like being very smiley and almost too much so. Like they're putting on like, look how like good we are at our jobs, smiling and making you happy. What do you need? So Xanroar, how are you feeling about this whole thing?
Very uncomfortable.
So Telenadil like sits. He just kind of like rolls into like the situation and is just like, okay, and like he'll start taking food and communicating as best as he can like to the people. Like he's doesn't seem to have any problem asking for things. Angril just sits down and he looks at all the food and he just like he takes in like a deep breath, and you can see he is very pleased by this by the spread, and he'll just start eating, but he still mostly ignores people trying to talk to him.
Yeah, Xanroar would be polite to those who are serving him, and he'll have a bit of food, but not much. Mostly keeping an eye on, well, the kind of the guards around them and the other two combatants.
Mostly in the house, like you're not seeing a whole lot of guards. You saw one at the bottom of the stairs when you came in. Mostly it's just serving people. Like I said, of which there are seemingly many. like an obnoxious amount of people that that are working here, bustling about, taking care of things.
Is the Vizier still with us?
He made sure you guys were okay, and once you were settled, he headed back out.
Okay.
So you guys are left to your own devices. The dining room is connected to the kitchen. It's set back, like you're in an area of the banner where pretty much all four well, the fourth wall into the house, like there is no real wall. It's just like this open area, but like the walls that would be like the edge of the house, they're almost entirely glass. Like there are just huge windows that you could see out into the property. And like as you were passing through here, you did pass the kitchen. The kitchen's actually open. It's not its own like separate room tucked away. Like it's on display, and the people that are working there are also on display. And there's just one woman in there just barking orders at everybody else, who's very obviously in charge of the kitchen area. But like it's just very easy for the servants to like bustle back and forth. And
Right, he's keeping in mind the layout of the house.
yes. Eventually, the Vizier Riyadh will come back, and he is going to ask for. Where is? Of course, I don't have a on hand. Where is a d6? No, the problem with having like a giant like dice bag is you can't find anything you want when you want it. Okay. So, actually, Xanroar, you are the first one to be summoned up to speak. But before that, did you want to talk to them? Was there anything you were going to do, or are you going to just sit and
He's still
watch?
just kind of having a. Yeah, he's mostly sitting and watching, eat a little bit, but not much. A
Telenadil
little
will.
ways into it,
Hmm?
he will cast enhance ability on himself, giving him what is it? The one for charisma.
Fox
Uh,
cunning? No.
no, that's intelligence. Whatever. The
Whichever.
one that gives
Eagle.
him,
Yes.
yeah, Eagle Splendor.
Yes, but Telenadil will definitely be he'll just be talking, whether or not either of you respond to him, just like commenting about like how much money they have to have like a whole wall of windows this huge, and just commenting on the stuff that they've seen. Like he's not being judgmental exactly, but like you feel like that he had come from money, and like this is more what he's used to, and he's just part enthralled, part just like babbling at the same time. So Riyadh will come, and he will clap his hands. He's like, Mr. Forgeheart, Xanroar, sir, if you would mind joining me.
With pleasure.
And he will lead you almost like the direct route back the way they came to where the stairs are. And he will lead you up the stairs to a I could actually pull you over there.
Ooh.
If it will let me, please. There. So, yes.
I'm mini.
Again, for some reason. And yes, so snap. Okay. So you are led up here, and the Vizier brings you to these large wooden double doors, and he smiles. He's like, "This is Lord Judar Antar, head of the family. He's a strict but kind man, I would say. And he opens the door into, this is obviously an office, big wooden desk, bookshelves on the side. Looks like there's a balcony behind him with big glass doors, and the man stands up and oop, that's not the right. He stands up and he is going to approach you and offer his hand and smile pleasantly. He has many rings, and a lot of like what he's wearing has gold trim. Very expensive looking type clothes. And as I said, he'll offer his hand and smile.
Xanroar will take the hand and shake it politely.
It's a firm handshake,
You
but
can-
he doesn't do the "I am going to crush your hand because I'm better than you" thing. But he's like, "Please, you are Mr. Forgeheart.
Correct.
Is there anything you prefer to before I call you?" And he motions to the
Mr.
chair.
Forgeheart, Xanroar, whatever you prefer. And Xanroar will have a seat.
All right. So, obviously, for a position this important, as it involves my son, obviously I would like to get to know the people that claim to wish to protect him. I am not expecting fanatical devotion. This is a job, you will get paid. But I do have some questions I would like to ask if you don't mind.
Feel free.
If you don't mind me asking, I'm wondering where you came from. There aren't many orcs, purebred or not, around here that I'm aware of. So I'm curious.
Came from a larger continent to the north. Only recently made it here in the last month. So, not exactly from around here, as apparently neither are you.
No, not at all. I know our choice to come here seems very strange, and I am not expecting people to understand. We are merchants. We are very successful merchants.
Mm.
But
Started off
things.
as a tradesman myself.
Then you understand sometimes you need to make changes. Things where we're becoming less than safe. This is less a obvious point of and he like taps his chin. We're hoping to start anew. It will be very difficult, but we wanted to make in a way to make a show of it, to let people know that we're here. Does that make sense?
It's understandable. That's why I left. Need to set off for my own.
So what exactly brought you here? Why this place?
He just kind of shrugs. Heard legends about a certain location, but I didn't exactly think of how much such research or searching would cost. So I need work so I can continue searching. This seemed a good job as enough as any.
True. But this is a bodyguard position.
Indeed. That's why the plan is save the money, spend it on somebody else to go investigate while I continue my work here.
He nods. Are there any accolades you wish to share? Anything that you're proud of?
Well, he'll tap the shield on his arm. I'm quite the craftsman, for one. Creating and inventing is part of who I am. I'm decent with magic. I'm even able to...
Decent. I
Within...
heard some interesting things about your assessment the other day.
he kind of grins. I wasn't able to show off everything I'm able to do, one of which happens to be bringing people back from death within a certain time span. Provided I have the materials, which can be costly, but still better than being dead.
So you're a God-fearing man.
He'll pull out his his holy symbol of Gaunt. I follow a deity, if that's what you mean.
It is. Usually we find types like you in temples or off preaching, trying to save the souls of the many.
That's not exactly what...
Gestures with his hands. Like
Xanroar kind of chuckles, playing the bit. Well, most gods are interested in such things. Gond is more interested in creation and innovation.
I can't say that doesn't intrigue me. Given any merchant would be curious about something like that, I would have to say.
Indeed.
And getting down more to the point, and he sits up a bit straighter in his chair and folds his hands on top of his desk. My son. My son
Yes.
is young. He
15, if I remember correctly.
Yes. He's young and impetuous and wants very much to have more responsibility than I am willing to give him. For reasons being that he is young and impetuous, and I am unable to trust him as of yet. Everyone in my family here has someone to protect him. My wife, my daughter, and previously my son. If you are willing to protect him, that would be a load off my mind. We are not under siege by any means. But
more for peace of mind.
Yes. One of the reasons that we did move here was because things were getting very dangerous back home. And I want my children safe. So I brought them here. This kingdom is known for its safety and its prosperity. It seemed while difficult, it seemed to be the best choice. So, are you willing to protect my son?
I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Would you die for my son if it came down to it?
That's the job.
He sighs a bit, and he looks you up and down. And he will offer a big, bright smile, just mouth full of pearly white teeth. And he will stand and offer his hand again. I do have others I wish to speak to, but by this evening we'll have made a decision. I don't want my son unprotected for any much longer.
Understandable. And if your advisor, and he gestures behind him to the vizier, hadn't mentioned, I am able to also create a spell that any harm that might come to him will go to me instead, if that doesn't prove devotion to one's charge.
He nods. I got a very detailed description of what had gone on.
Xanroar will reach out and shake his hand. And can I just make an insight check on this guy? Just
Sure. Like, what are you trying to figure
like,
out?
like I get he's being like he wants his son protected, but is there something he's not telling me about threats to his son's life potentially?
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
that one should not be there, but
Okay.
still.
He seems confident that they're safe here, but it's definitely the like the other shoe could drop at any moment sort of situation. Like he does feel safe. He does believe like what he's saying, that this was a good choice for them to come here. He wasn't very detailed about what those dangers were. But it's definitely a just in case, but there could be something more there. Like the dangers may like you feel like the dangers may have been specific to them as opposed to the region that they're from.
Okay.
They're running from not so much that they're running from something. I mean, they obviously made a big deal. Look at us being here, you know. Like
there's definitely a
he's
threat.
not afraid, but he does believe that there is a threat or could be a threat.
Okay, good to know. I will shake his hand.
Okay. And he will lead you to the door. And Riyadh is hanging out here. He was waiting, and he also big, almost uncomfortable smile. And looking around, like it's like looking down the hall. Like they're right down here. It's very noticeable. There are statues, very like from their culture sort of statues. Big ornate door that just sort of stands out, really. Like it's designed more in like that Persian looking style than the rest of the house. Like there's this door that stands out at the end of the hall, but everything else matches this country's architecture.
Okay, duly noted. And he will make a mental note of that.
And you will be led downstairs. And would you... It might take some time. Would you care to stay in... Sorry, I keep coughing. Stay for your meal? There's still plenty of food left.
Sure, I'll stay for the company. And he'll put on a smile.
Is it a smile or is it a grimace?
He's going to try to make it a smile.
Okay. So you head back over there, And Riyadh is going to call up Angril, who sets down what he's eating, licks his lips, and stands up, and just heads on over. Thunk, 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 thunk. Big, heavy footfalls. Kind of wondering if he'll fall through the stairs as he makes his way up.
Once the vizier is out of the room, Xanroar's just going to take a moment and quickly cast Locate Object for the key. The key he has been searching for.
Yes. You do not feel it.
Huh. Well,
At least where you're standing. You currently do
for
not.
1,000 feet?
Let me double check. You wouldn't. Let me just double check. Yeah, like you would not be able to sense it.
Dang. 1,000 feet of here and it's not being detected. Dang. And I'm in the middle of their house.
There are restrictions to it.
You'll never see it coming.
I am quickly trying to reveal stuff. Do. Vaguely. Just so because you have walked in through here.
Still, it's worth a shot. But yeah, he'll just kind of sit down and
So that's essentially
a
the part
little
of
bit.
the house that you are able to see. Dining area is up here. And Telenadil is still sitting there. He's got a nice goblet of wine and he is eating. He's trying to eat like this food. It's a tad spicy for him, but he is enjoying it. Lots of bustle of people. This is the kitchen area over here. And stairs that you had gone up. So this is what you would have been able to see of the manor in from where you have come in from.
Cool. He's just eating, just waiting for decisions to be made.
Yeah, it goes on the same. Dragonborn comes back down. Elf gets taken up there. Dragonborn just like sits heavily in the chair or it creaks. Because he's still in like his full armor. He's got his great sword strapped across his back and he's just sits down and goes back to what he was eating immediately.
Is he in full plate?
He is in. Yes, he is in full plate now.
Grr, he's got better armor than me. Well, mine's better made, clearly.
He's very big, very heavy. He a big boy, so he needs to eat a whole lot, and kitchen crew is doing their best to keep up with him. But like before, he's not demanding, like he's not cruel, but he's very curt in with like when he asks for something, if he asks for something. And eventually Telendil will come back downstairs and he will sit down. And he's like, well, that's that, I guess. Hope they don't make us wait too long. Both of you really... He's looking at the two of you.
Xanroar's not eating much, but still quiet.
This is the weirdest Brady Bunch episode.
It's just like, I mean, well, I've got to be the one they take because I could at least hold a conversation. He just kind of like huffs and goes to his drink.
He's just gonna. Xanroar's just gonna side eye over to him. Oh, I'm sorry. Does being able to protect someone require talking?
Oh,
The
shit.
son is a kid. You need to be able to communicate with kids. I know your people don't live that long. You're probably around the same age as him or something, I think. But human kids, they're kids for.
When the next gnome drops, oh, it's gonna get ugly.
And he's just like, you need to be able to speak to children. That much I know at least.
You also need to know when to shut up and let the important people talk.
Like, you're one of those. And then he goes back to his drink.
Xanroar's just thinking in his head. Fuck, I had something in my head for this, but never mind. Forget it. Oh, full mouth, empty head. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Yes, so eventually it does take a little while. You're able to eat into your full. Telanadil at least knows enough to like cut himself off on the wine before it gets too much, and Vizier Riyadh will return, and he will stand up straight as he does when he's about to orate to a crowd, even though it's a crowd of 3. And like when he comes down, like all the other little servants either run towards the kitchen or just sort of scatter into the house away. And he will clap his hands. He's like, the decision has been made. Congratulations, Mr. Forgeheart. You have impressed our Lord Judar, and we are happy to welcome you into our household.
Xanroar will get up and give a slight bow. Pleasure is all mine. And I'm going to side-eye to both the Dragonborn and the elf.
They both look like equally huffy about it. Dragonborn just a bit more anger, like eyes narrowed, but he's not causing dramas. But he does stand up and just leave. Like he starts heading out back the way he came. But Telendil is still. He picks up his goblet again. He's like, okay, whatever, fuck. But he's like, and Riyadh is just like, okay, as he's leaving, and he snaps his finger, which is a little bit louder than it should be, and the guard from up front rushes to meet him and lead him out the front of the door. He's like, we would prefer that you take the next day, the rest of today and next, to get any affairs that you have in order. But we do have a room available for you here, and we want to introduce you to the young master once before you leave, if that is all right.
He'll give a nod, of course.
And
He'll get up and stand to follow him.
And he is, I don't have his token, but oh, his token's right here. Wah! So he is going to essentially leave you to these doors over here, and he walks like, cause you've seen him on like the carpet. He's a little bigger, like bigger around the middle, and he walks, and he has like this odd sway of his like hips and shoulders when he walks, and it just like swings his belly back and forth as he goes. I don't think I do. I do. Hold on. I am more prepared than I thought. Sort of. There he is. Dude. Okay, so he will lead you here, and if this will reveal areas, it is a den, sitting room, area, fireplace, books, very grumpy looking teenage boy sitting in the middle of the room, like on the do I have a thing? I do. This teenage boy sitting, arms folded, just kind of like legs kicked out, looking very huffy. And Riadubi will introduce the two of you. He's like, this is our young Lord Fakir. He will be your charge from henceforth. And Fakir just kind of like gives you this like scowl look and doesn't say anything. And Riyadh just kind of like, he's in a bit of a temperamental mood today. But Lord
Usually the
Fakir,
best time for molding.
this is Mr. Xanroar Forgeheart. He is going to be your new bodyguard. To which Fakir is like, we don't need one anymore. That's why we moved here. Like, oh, well, your father seems to think otherwise.
You just don't understand me, Dad.
And
Well,
Riyadh kind of like looks at Xanroar with a smile and just kind of like gestures him into the room, like it's like, huh? Big like kind of half I'm sorry and half like you know. He's like,
like
I
the
like
tag
that.
you're in with Skippy earlier.
He's like he's like, I know. We all know.
He won't sit down. Xanroar will just enter the room. I'm guessing he closes the doors behind me, just kind of putting us together.
Yeah.
Xanroar will just kind of start by looking around the room. I'm guessing the different books and whatnot.
There's a whole lot of books in there. But you do notice that a lot of them, especially like on the higher shelves, don't have like titles, and they look very new.
So, who's the writer in the family? As he continues to walk around checking out the different books.
He shrugs. My sister does most of that sort of thing.
Then what's your thing?
I am going to take over the family business.
Continues looking around at the different books. Well, it's always good to have aspirations.
Do you
But as
take
of right
any
now,
of the Do you take any of the books down and look at them, or are you just looking
yeah,
at the?
sure. If one catches his eye, I'll take one down and have a look.
Most of them, like the ones that don't have a title, are blank. There are some that are there, like they kind of seem like they're more there for show. Like there are books that have like that you could read, but a lot of them are storybooks, or like there's some books about trade, like nothing that's like worthwhile almost.
He'll continue just kind of looking around, and then eventually just kind of look at the young lord. So, I take it you're not too pleased with anyone getting this assignment.
He shrugs. I don't see the point.
Xanroar will kind of do a similar shrug, considering he's not that old either. He's only 23. Parents are normally overly protective. I can understand that.
Riyadh's been around forever. Amani's been around forever. It shrugs.
You're not pleased with leave your homelands? Do you not like whatever this place is?
I haven't got to see whatever this place is. I've been stuck in this manor the entire time.
Well, now you have a guard. Now you can... Should you not be able to see a bit more? Or is that against your father's wishes?
There's trees and a dinky little town. What am I gonna see? We came from a city.
Fair enough. Awkward silence between the two.
Essentially, it's just kind of like grumble, grumble.
Well, if you want, I can possibly show you some interesting things. Depends on what you're interested in, I guess.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Not the way I was going with it at all.
Young man, you don't need to feel down.
Oh, God.
Like what?
Well, I'm a craftsman and adventurer originally by trade, so I've made some things, and he taps on his shield that aren't, well, that are original, that no one else has made. And he'll extend the shield into its full tower position and back.
He's like,
That...
his eyes like get a little wider, and he's like he's trying to keep his grumpiness, but like, okay, that was kind of cool. But you don't even use a sword.
Who needs to when you have magic?
And he rolls his eyes. That's what my sister always says. Her and Riyadh, that's all they deal with.
He's gonna pull up his... Well, if you need something, he's gonna pull out his silvered mace, which he made himself, which is very intricate, and holds it up for him to inspect.
He looks at it, and like, you could tell it's more because he doesn't know, but he's like, but aren't swords better for fighting? Because they go into people.
Why go in when you can simply crush them? And he'll get a bit of a smirk. Or, if you want something better, and he'll cast a Searing Smite, and the hammer engulfs into flame.
kind of like
You can.
half falls backwards off of the couch he's sitting on. Just kind of like scrambles back and like falls over.
He'll put out the flame after he's done freaking out.
It's like, don't do that. You grumble, grumble, grumble.
I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to see something new.
Yeah,
He'll have a smirk.
new. I've seen magic enough.
Well, when I return tomorrow, I'll definitely show you something new.
He's like, fine, you better. It's not like either of us have a choice anymore.
Fair enough.
So,
He'll give a bit of a bow and head to the door.
Riyadh will like peek over. Is everything okay? I heard a bit of a kerfuffle.
It's fine, just showing off a little bit. He seemed interested.
Ah. Our young lord does have interests in weapons.
Alright, I can work with that. And Xanroar will give a bow to him, and as you said, I shall get my affairs in order.
Alright, we will be waiting. Day after next. Or day after tomorrow, essentially.
And Xanroar will leave, so other people can do stuff. I
And-
felt so bad.
Uno.
And
Go fish.
you do not get an escort out. You are allowed to leave. The guards at the gate will let you out. You leave without an escort, essentially.
And the scorpions?
Yeah, they hang out. They're not rushing at you.
Alright, cool.
At some point, I'll look to Dustin, the big man, said, kind of like dusting my hands off, even though there's no dust on my hands. Just say, all right, I need you.
All right. What
Come
for?
with me. Look menacing. Do the sleeve thing you did. That was menacing.
He'll find another shirt and then rip the sleeves off of them.
Fantastic. You're going to run out of shirts at that rate. Now, I need you for... I'm going to do something that might... well, I don't know what the reaction's going to be, but I'm going to do something. And in the event that's... it goes south, I need you for backup. But otherwise, I just need you to sit there and do whatever it is you do when you sit places.
I'll bring my weapons.
All right, wonderful. Come, let's go to the swinging sword.
All right. And he puts his great axe by his neck and follows R out. Skippy, don't hurt yourself while we're doing this.
Yeah. Skippy is working on creating gnome-based magical items.
You become a
and-
gnome wizard.
We'll go to the swinging sword. I will go in and get a consommé drink. And what is the layout of this whole shebang?
Hold on. We have a layout
Oh, wonderful.
with everybody
And-
still in it. Hold on.
Yeah, and I'm assuming over like this way is where like the rooms are. To the left, basically.
That's where there are some rooms down there. There is a stairs up to the second floor where there's like a long hallway that like right above like the tavern where there's more rooms.
Fantastic. I'll get a drink and sit with Dustin for a minute and kind of just I'll have one sip and sort of look at him and say, all right, you stay here, and if you hear a kerfuffle at some point, come find me.
Is there a word I should be waiting for or looking for, or just until I hear like a scuffle?
If you hear a scuffle,
All
you
right.
know, the
I
sounds of
trust you.
metal clashing, and the like. And I'm gonna go. I'll pull my hood and, after taking a few sips of my drink, pull my hood and scarf up, and just kind of go stand. Because I don't know which door is the one I'm looking for, but I know that I'll just stand sort of a little bit into the entryway, and just kind of lean up against a wall, like next to, or not like directly next to one of the doors, but like nearby the doors, basically, as close to the main tavern as I can, but like far enough in where I will have some semblance of privacy from the rest of the tavern.
Okay. And
I am waiting for Mr. Talandriel.
whenabouts did you come?
I would have waited probably like 15, 20 minutes and then come, not knowing how long it's going to be, but assuming that the interview is going to take more time than half an hour or so.
Yeah, it's gonna be a time.
Yeah.
Especially with like the distance traveled, and but he will eventually. I would say maybe closer to 2 hours.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll wait. We'll wait it out and suffer through it.
So Dustin,
Or I will.
what are you up to for 2 hours?
So Dustin wants to look as menacingly as possible. So every like 15 minutes, he'll just order another drink, and he'll just keep piling on drinks.
Make
Oh,
a
no.
Constitution save.
But no, he's not drinking them. He just has the drinks. He doesn't drink. He's just having them all over, and just eyeing down anyone that walks in.
Yeah, I'll have a drink. Doesn't drink it. Yeah, I'll have another.
So you have like 8 drinks, like just floating around on your table,
Yep.
untouched.
Untouched.
Dustin knows that it's appropriate to order more drinks, but doesn't know that you should finish the first one before ordering the second one.
Yeah. Mace like do like the fake drink, but instead just like spill it either like on the floor into his pants, and then like act like he's actually drinking it, and then put it down.
So what he's doing is he's just pouring it down the side of his
Yeah.
self, going glug, 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 glug.
Yeah. Basically.
Becoming soaked in the process.
Oh my god.
So there are people around. Like this is not an empty bar as it might look, because people just people coming in for food from the town, people that are staying here in the inn part. So a couple people give him looks, and it's having the effect where people are avoiding you, but not for the reason you think they are.
Yeah. Good
So
job, Dustin.
eventually, Telenadil does show up. He'll head to the bar. He'll order a bottle of something and then start heading down the hall.
As he passes by, just kind of, I'll just kind of be like, "How'd the interview go, Talandriel?"
And he will jump a little bit and spin around and look at you.
You can only see my eyes.
Do I know you?
Perhaps. You didn't answer my question.
I mean, that's kind of my business. And he kind of looks her up and down and is like, "You're not pregnant, are you?"
I don't think so. Did you get the job or not?
And who's asking?
Men. I'll just pull my hood down and look at him and kind of do like a like not a curtsy, but kind of like a little half bow, and just be like, Aranox from Starhill. Pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
He kind of like takes in a breath and lets it out slowly. It's like, no. Can I go now?
Would you like some work?
Kind of like, what kind of work?
Well, a man of your skill set could be quite valuable to someone like my family. We do have similar employment opportunities to what you are currently applying for back home, if you would be interested. And you would be out of the public eye for the most part.
It's just kind of like pinches the bridge of his nose, like, come on. And he just kind of like gestures for Ara to follow him.
Very well.
And he'll head upstairs to a room. It's a simple room. There's nothing like super fancy about these places, and he just sort of like flops down on the bed with his wine, and he pulls the cork on it. And she's like, "Give me one good reason why I would ever want to go back there."
It pays well. The work that I can arrange for you to do. You'd be very valuable. You would be, for all intents and purposes, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, valued, but I already told you that.
So you want me to be a bodyguard for someone back home?
I want you to work for the runners. You are a very talented man, and I don't quite care about what happened all those years ago.
And just kind of grumble, like nothing happened, grumble. But,
Nothing happened. Mull it over. I'll be in town for, well, a few more days yet. But if you come around to it, come find me. I'm in a tower on the outskirts of town. You can't miss it.
I'll think about it. I want you to roll
Best
a
of-
persuasion.
Oh boy, I'm good at these. Persuasion. Yeah.
We'll see.
Best of luck with your drinking and finding a job. Just bow out.
Okay.
And go find the covered in ale Dustin.
Soaking, dripping.
There's a
Oh, you're back.
pool under the table of various sorts of fluids.
Yes, I'm back, and you... What are you doing?
It was insane. Some guys came in, they were really drunk. They poured ale in my face. We had a tumble. Shelby came in and ate one of them. It was insane. They were taken out. I put everything back as it was, and now I'm here.
As much as I would love to believe that story, let's just go.
Alright.
Let's just go.
I'm sure our bird friend back at the house is up to all sorts of gnomish related
So-
troubles.
Dustin is moist. He smells both drunk and flammable as he swishes his way out the front door, leaving damp footprints.
I'll
I
follow
look
him.
hot, though.
But I will be keeping like 3 feet distance, so I don't want freaking I don't want wine and shit all over me.
Dustin will walk out, not looking at the barmaid, knowing the rage that's probably coming his way.
There's a lot of glaring and
I'll-
like rage cleaning of large mugs.
I'll
Dustin's
just
gonna
place
leave.
my last silver on the table.
Dustin's gonna leave 5 gold.
Okay. Oh my god.
Most of the gold Dustin spends is just left places. It's not actually spent on anything. It's just like left.
All right. We'll head back and
Yeah, he didn't actually
Dustin,
leave it
while we're
on
walking back.
left it on the table.
Dustin, while we're walking back, is gonna ask Ara, "Did you know that person?" Or I probably wouldn't know that. What is everything all right?
everything is fine. That man who also got into the interview is a very skilled swordsman, and my father could make good use of someone like him.
Can I make an insight check on that?
Are you hiding anything?
I'm just no. I'm being honest.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. This way. All right. Did you know him?
I had seen some of his. He was a duelist. I saw some of his duels that there was a long time ago, and then he sort of, whether he did anything or not, fell from grace and disappeared about maybe 50 years ago.
I'm guessing this is the first time after those 50 years you've seen him?
Indeed. He's a long way from home and seemingly unemployed.
Alright. When we get back to the tower, is there any gnomish thing?
Shenanigans occurring.
Yes.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, boy.
But not overt. I mean, probably. So I would have hung the bell somewhere. So probably like as you enter the tower, it like hits the bell and 4 gnomes appear, staring lifelessly into the void.
Dustin will take out his great axe. What are these?
They're gnomes. They're fake.
I trust you. I don't like them.
No, they're quite terrifying. How they just kind of like have a permanent 1,000-yard stare and like look like they want to die.
They look
Yeah.
like they want my flesh.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Well, Shelby wants your flesh, but
That's true. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem. Ara, one thing that you notice, probably your bow is not where you left it.
is it in sight or is it just gone?
Your bow and Skippy are both not where you would anticipate them to be.
Skippy's gonna die.
I don't mean to alarm everyone, but our friend has taken a very well. I don't know if he knows how to use it, but it's dangerous for him to use. He's taken a dangerous weapon, and I didn't even think he could lift it up. He has my longbow.
I suggest we all walk very carefully.
Yes.
Yeah, no, so hearing you say this, Skippy will poke his head out of a extra dimensional space and be like, "Oh, I'm right here." And how long did your sally to the swinging sword to talk to this guy take?
A few hours.
Few hours?
Yeah.
How few?
I think Athy said like 2, so with travel time, probably like 2.5.
Okay. Skippy will then just say, I'm working on a project. Don't come in.
Are you damaging that in any way?
He's just gonna look at you and be like, I don't know what you're talking about, but if I did have anything, definitely not.
Be careful with my weapon, please.
Like I said, don't know what you're talking about, but
Oh,
okay, I will.
All right, whatever. If he shoots one of you, I'm not responsible.
Could I go find Temperance?
What's Temperance been up to?
I have no idea what Temperance would have been up to during all of this.
So this is roughly between noon and 3.
Yeah.
She away enough that Skippy got a hold of a dangerous weapon without her notice.
Yeah, she's losing tabs on Skippy rapidly. Just trying to keep tabs on the direction of this stuff. I mean, between noon and 3, after Xanroar got back, or before?
That would be during and after.
During and after. Yeah, she would basically just be twiddling her thumbs and waiting for Xanroar to come back and find out how everything went and whatnot. Trying to plan next steps for the key and whatnots, if they were able to get it.
Dustin's gonna walk up to you covered in different types of ale. He's gonna be like, Temperance, you have a moment.
After your bath, yes, I do.
Oh.
We've had this conversation, Dustin. Before it was with cabbages. It doesn't smell much better when it's fermented alcohol.
It keeps away the gnomes.
It keeps away the birdies, too, and she'll hop back. Dustin, you must clean yourself.
Alright, give me like 10 minutes and he's gonna walk over to the river. And then swim.
That's acceptable enough. I assume
So
that
45 minutes later.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
But he's gonna then walk back with just a towel. Nothing else. And he's just gonna be like, is everything alright with you, Temperance?
Did you just leave your armor at the river?
No, I left my armor in the tower.
Oh, okay. Because in my head, you left with armor and came back with only a towel. I was like, wait.
No, and he's just gonna be like, has everything been okay with you, Temperance? I feel like something's been up, but I don't want to intrude if I'm being too much.
No, everything is fine. I'm just trying to remain focused. I feel like this group is got a varied amount of interest lately, and I never know when my time will be up. That concerns me. I feel like solving this mystery is the key to solving another, or at least they're connected. So just a bit antsy about that, I suppose. Eager to get back to our building that we're paying rent on, I imagine, to somebody.
If you do end up going back into whatever thing that you're in, is there anything that you want us to do exactly other than keep you safe?
You know, the regular, keeping Skippy away from sharp objects and things that are lit on fire, keeping Aura from, or whoever initiates whoever does the kidnapping thing, stop doing that thing. She actually opens up her notebook and flips. Stop. Let's see. What else? I mean, really, the kidnapping and the fire and the stabbing are the main 3 points. No more dropping me from heights. And really, just remember the tower. I don't know that we're on a time crunch of any sort, but we do have an overarching goal, and we should, to gain reputation and as, a spy agency that actually does what they say they're going to do, we need to actually complete one mission. Just any mission that one would be good. I think this was our first one. But I appreciate your concern. You can clothe yourself now. This is uncomfortable. Especially considering you're like probably 6-7 feet tall and I'm like 3. And where I land, I'm talking to something I don't want to be talking to.
Dustin will blush and turn away. But before he leaves, he'll turn back and goes, you put on a lot of stress on yourself, Temperance. Just don't forget to take it easy for a little while. If you put too much stress on yourself, you're going to crack.
I will look into getting hobbies. Thank you very much. If you promise to look into getting a larger towel. It doesn't quite all the way. Anyway.
Dustin isn't going to say anything and just walk out kind of abashedly. The towel may fall after he leaves, but
you're like a bad fitting hospital gown.
Oh, I don't like that. and then go back to his room. Does Xanroar eventually come back?
Xanroar will eventually return whenever
Don't go
he's
to Dustin's room.
done his meeting. Just kind of enter the tower, seeing Dustin slink off in just a towel.
You may see his butt,
What-
you may not.
What the hell did I miss?
He poured ale on himself.
That explains everything.
Oh, and Skippy has my our bird friend has my longbow, and is hiding with it. So be careful.
Skippy is going to stick his head out of his thing. It's like, I don't have it. Obviously a lie, but
Skippy, what are you doing?
What's going on, guys? How is everybody?
seeing Temperance, he's gonna like slink back into his hiding spot.
Who lets
That's
Skippy have a
suspicious.
bow?
I'm sorry, what?
Apparently he took Ara's bow. And now he's
Are-
hiding in his pocket dimension.
Are you playing keep away, Ara? Is this?
I-
Did you give him your bow?
No, I mean I didn't want too many weapons walking into the tavern, so I left it here, thinking it would be safe in my room. But apparently, personal space is not something he appreciates.
Skippy. Skippy.
How long would it have taken Xanroar to come back?
From when he left to back, probably like 2 hours. Roughly.
Oh, okay. All right. So Skippy's going to stick his head out of his thing and be like, "Yes,
Are you taking things that don't belong to you again?
I'm not taking them. I'm just moving them from one place to another, for science."
Skippy, is that yours? Did you ask if you could take the thing that you took?
Oh,
Okay, is that a nice thing to do, Skippy?
no.
Okay. Well, if Ara doesn't like her bow being taken to your pocket dimension, this sentence, then I think you need to ask Ara if you can borrow her bow to take it to the pocket dimension before taking it.
This is
Temperance is on a roll.
She can't conversate with other people because she's busy saying sentences like this to her group. She doesn't know how to speak regular sentences anymore.
If you touch something that's yours, that's no good.
Thank you, Mama Temperance.
My sides.
All right. I'm literally crying right now. Okay. Skippy is gonna look like a child that just got scolded, and then look to Ara and be like, "Ara, do you mind if I borrow your bow?"
Answer me a question first.
Yeah.
Are you damaging it?
It won't be broken,
All right.
and if it is, I can also fix it. I have
All
the
right.
mending.
Second question, are you going to shoot someone with it?
No, hopefully you will. Not
Alright.
like right now or anybody here though.
Then I'll look to Xanroar and Temperance, just with a questioning look for the their approval almost.
Temperance will turn to Xanroar and be like, I think I need to be closer to what magics he's looking into. Do you have any idea what he's doing?
He hasn't told me anything, so I have
Oh.
no idea.
Gonna have to snoop
Oh.
in his
The
room and
last
read
thing
his
you
diary
remember is gnomes.
again. Yeah. Are you... Other question. Are you arming gnomes?
Slowly back into the other dimension.
Uh,
Oh my god, is he gonna be shooting arrows that turn into gnomes?
Because if I have a gnome with a dead inside gnome shooting random arrows into the battle, it's gonna be a problem.
Breathe,
So-
Ara, breathe.
I'm gonna mute myself.
So Skippy is at this point going to like go to answer. He's gonna open up his mouth, and then a light bulb goes off in his head when you say, "Are gnomes going to be shooting arrows into battle?" And he's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, you're right." And then he's gonna duck back into his little pocket dimension.
Should I grab and drag him out?
I think that's for the best. I don't like where this is going. There's convenient amounts of information being let out of.
Did I hear arming gnomes?
Yes, you did.
This won't come back in a clean set of things.
Skippy will poke his head out and be like, "Don't worry, the gnomes will not be able to hurt anybody yet."
We are going to go we're keeping a closer eye on Skippy's, skip and jump down into the magic hole from now on. Like, this is getting too much. He's leaving too much out, and he's too impressionable at this age to be left to his own. I mean, he created dead-eyed gnomes, 4 of them, and he's very proud. Like, she's having a meeting with like Xanroar and Ara and Dustin, like, guys, please. If I go back, Dustin, you asked me what you can do to help. Please help me. Help Skippy.
Who gave him the idea for gnomes?
I wasn't here, and I'm blaming myself now, I guess. I don't even know when he saw a gnome, let alone decided to copy 4 of them at the sound of a bell. And now he's going to give them bows or broken bows, I don't know, or just arrows to just stab at people.
Oh, I'm crying. All right. Wait. Come out. Can you poke your head out, please?
Hello?
Yeah. Are you poking your head out?
Yes?
I will let you hold on to the bow. I'll give you permission for it if you bring one of our friends in there with you to supervise you.
Okay, I choose Leaf.
Nope.
Nope, not an option.
She is drunk and passed out in the corner.
Skippy,
Yes.
I'll one-up your offer, and if you not only let one of us in there, but also tell us what you're doing, I can provide you with sweet rolls. As many sweet rolls as you want.
Skippy's eyes go wide at this. Like,
Assuming he's not doing bad things, remember the rules.
I already accept the offer, yes.
So what you doing, Skippy?
Well, do I have to tell everybody or only the person that comes in?
I'm gonna end up telling them, so you better tell the whole group.
Yeah.
Okay, so since it's, I think, been a day since, Skippy is going to drop out 1 arrow.
Oh no.
Does anybody else have a means of shooting arrows?
Yes.
So you can just shoot that into the wall. Can you shoot that into the wall?
Dustin too. Huh.
Why?
It'll all make sense once you do it.
I'm going to be she's like loading her short bow. I'm going to be very angry if a gnome appears at the last second before the wall, okay? And she'll shoot the short bow at the wall.
Okay, so the arrow goes into the wall, and once it hits the wall, it is stuck in. A gnome pops out and goes, "Wah!"
This is very important. Where does the gnome pop out exactly?
It just poofs. It's just...
And takes the arrow? Just yells at me? What is it?
No, it just it goes, "Wah!" And like just stands there.
I'm just thinking of like
Looking dead-eyed into
Wario.
the distance.
Is the arrow still there?
So
Yeah, the arrow's stuck in the wall.
is it like an animated thing, or is it just like a unmoving gnome just
An
appearing?
an unmoving gnome just appears, and the sound effect of "Wah!" which is what Skippy thinks a gnome would say in battle.
You guys see Ara just walk out the front door, and you hear her start giggling as she walks away.
Xanroar just kind of massages his eyes a little bit.
Temperance will walk over to Skippy and directly and point back at the gnome and say, "No, no, no."
Temperance, he isn't doing anything bad with the gnome. Nothing's
Oh, I
being-
beg to differ, Dustin. That is disturbing as fuck.
It's disturbing, but no one's being harmed.
I'm a little
No,
harmed.
gnome.
I feel a little harmed, like
No,
mentally speaking.
no gnomes are harmed in the creation of this arrow.
Skippy, I appreciate your efforts, and that is impressive. But no, you are
No.
going down the wrong path, my young little bird friend. You that's creepy. You don't want to be creepy, do you? Those aren't the kind of adventures that you want to tell to your betrothed that I totally remember the name of.
Mara.
Huh? Yeah. Those are you. Do you want to tell her the creepy story of how you poofed a gnome into existence and, without it moving itself, its mouth, or any part of it, it went bruh? You don't want to tell that story. She will be creeped out by that story.
Can anybody scry?
That's 5th level.
Nope, but I can send.
If we put a gnome in that house, can we scry on the gnome?
I don't think so, because I think it has to be a physical person.
Oh damn.
And these are just holograms.
If Dustin said that out loud, Temperance would be like, like weird, but better direction. Like better. This is more on point. I hate to say that.
The gnomes are good.
Gnomes that
Gnome
listen.
spies.
Gnome spies.
That's quiet ones that don't
now I'm
speak.
starting to imagine like, what was it, Harvest Fest from like Sims 4, where just like gnomes are so suddenly there in your house, like for no reason.
Dead-eyed. Creepy little gnome.
Dead-eyed gnomes. I guess this would probably be a good time to say I actually got the job.
Xanroar, timing. Like what?
The gnome in the background.
I'm just gonna
goes,
like get like I'm just kind of like a hand, open hand, like across to Skippy, Dustin, who's probably partly dressed, and the gnome was a little distracted.
Yes. Or can we lead with that and the pertinent? Jesus. All right. Well, that's good. Skippy, back to the drawing board. Maybe more focused on task at hand. Like, what was your goal here? Let me assume positive intent, Skippy. What was your goal with the little scary, creepy gnome thing here?
Okay, so imagine you're in a dungeon, right?
Huh?
And something is around, and you're like, I don't want to be seen by that. As you do, and then you take out a gnome arrow and you shoot it far away from you.
Is it a
And then-
arrow?
And then all of a sudden, gnome and wah, and then
And then what though, Skippy? Is it just sit there on a loop of making that sound? Does it disappear?
until the arrow is destroyed. Wah! It will do that about every minute.
Oh my god.
Oh, so that thing's just been going off while this these
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
talking.
Just in background, you hear wah!
Make it stop. She goes over there and breaks her own arrow. Like, stop it.
You know, that could be really good for distractions.
It's tweaking. Yes, I agree. But can it not make that horrible sound? And could its eyes look at anything, like anything? Or sunglasses? Could we do sunglasses?
I can do sunglasses.
All right, that's a compromise. And also, Skippy, don't be so cryptic with what you're doing. You're really starting to worry all of us. I mean, the last time you popped in and out of your pocket dimension with Leaf, you came out smelling of bad drink, Skippy. And she gives him, like, a not eyebrow. Like a,
Skippy is just going to, like, start to blush at this point, because he thought that nobody noticed.
Just include us in your ideas, your brainstorming session. We're your friends, aren't we, Skippy?
Skippy, so he's gonna sit there and he's going to...
Oh God, what have I done?
He's going to drop something out of the pocket dimension. It's just a rock that says, Skippy's brainstorming partner.
Oh my
gonna
God.
Be like, can you shake the rock, please?
Is it like Wilson?
I'm so scared this is turning into a gnome. Sorry, continue.
Can you shake the rock, please?
Can I do what to the rock?
Shake the rock.
Shake the rock. Okay. This is again, and she picks it up. This is one of those cryptic things where you should definitely tell a person what a thing is going to do before they do it. Okay. Do you understand the point of that, Skippy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And she'll shake the rock.
So, standing right next to Temperance is now a gnome that's just going,
Oh my God.
Interesting
Am I
idea.
in hell? She turns to Xanroar. Why do I keep falling for this? What's... No. And she'll toss the rock to Xanroar and just...
Xanroar will look from the rock up to Skippy, to the gnome, to the rock, back to Skippy.
He always likes my ideas.
Aro will walk back in at this point.
He being the rock? The rock likes your ideas? I'm confused at this point who you're talking about. Is it the sentient rock?
It got weirder.
I can
Wait,
see that.
The gnome from the rock likes your ideas? Is he named? Do you get to call a certain one? These aren't real gnomes, right?
No, they're illusionary gnomes.
Where have you found the time to make so many illusory gnomes?
One day you're all just gonna come back to the tower, and everything you touch is just gonna be gnomes.
Does this one make that same stupid noise?
No, that one because it's for thinking, not distracting. So
Clearly.
every 60 seconds, it'll just go, interesting idea.
In that like deep voice too.
Yeah.
Like,
Encouragement.
No.
What the Skippy?
Skippy, I am sorry, you have clearly been spending a little too much time by yourself in your pocket dimension. We will make more of an effort to have you brainstorm out in the open where we can help you with your ideas. Not monitor, help.
Okay. Well, I'm almost done with this one. And this is the last one for myself without talking to other people, I swear.
Nelson, you are amazing.
Can all of these exist at once? Like continuously?
So they're their own separate entities. From what I understand, it's the object that casts the spell, not the spellcaster.
Oh, you just put the spell into the object?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that, yeah, right now there are 6 gnomes standing in the entryway of the tower.
And they just stand there indefinitely until you do something, correct?
Till the spell ends, essentially.
How long is the spell? I don't. I never got my wizard past like
It's
level 2.
minor illusion lasts a minute.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Great. And Temperance is gonna make a note to make Skippy a little like classroom section somewhere that can be easily broken down and built back up so that he does this shit out in the open and not in his pocket dimension as much, if
I
possible.
swear, Temperance is gonna go back into her doll. She's gonna come back, and all the party just gonna be gnomes.
Yeah, if
Have
there's a gnome in charge of holding her little statue, she's gonna be so pissed.
No, from her statue with Temperance comes 4 gnomes.
Oh my god.
Ara's gonna walk.
So,
Finish. Oh, you go.
just notice I'll never leave Skippy alone.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Yeah, Skippy was left alone with a passed out leaf. And this is what happened.
Ara takes a big old sip of the jug of wine and just looks at Skippy and says, "While this has been endlessly entertaining, if you ever go into my room without permission and take something, you will wake up missing both your eyebrows and your spellbook."
But you don't have a room. So like in the tower, there's the kitchen and dining room, the one like actual room that is empty,
Mine.
and then the upstairs room, which is full of maps and books.
All those, you get to choose 2 of those things on that list.
Oh, it's
technically.
2 of those things? Okay,
Like
so yeah.
each floor is one of those things. When you cast it at a higher level, you could have another floor of those things.
Okay, I was thinking it was like 3 rooms, 2 floor. Okay, so yeah, so no, there's just a kitchen / dining room and a observatory room upstairs.
Well, if you ever go through my things again.
I mean, granted, the tower is like, isn't it like 100 feet? But it's a pretty big room. But because you definitely need room to fit it, the tower. But yeah, you could kind of fudge things, I would say. like make partitions rather than like actual rooms with doors, so like people have like cubbies to put their stuff in, like room-sized cubbies.
Okay.
But yeah, until you like cast it at higher levels, you get 2 floors to mess with.
Okay. So yeah, I will not go into your partitioner again.
Without permission. If I give you permission, by all means.
Okay. Can I have unlimited permission to go into your partitioner?
Absolutely
Skippy.
not.
Okay.
No. You don't ask for permission for future. That's not how. Each instance by itself. Remember, you don't. Nothing. That's not polite.
You probably wouldn't know this, except maybe Dustin and Temperance, because they've been with Skippy a lot longer. But he's probably writing all the stuff that you were like all these new rules down in his book, because that is his guide to what he is and is not allowed to do.
How to social.
How to Skippy.
You can't ask anyone how fire they are.
I cannot. Don't go into R's room. That's a new one.
What else is on that list? Are you breaking any other rules, Skippy?
Give
kidnapping
all
is
the
too
gnomes
many.
sunglasses. No, that
You
is
mean no
not
touching
actually.
fire?
That is on there, but like in quotation marks to Skippy.
Should it be?
Like the only thing is like don't touch fire, but don't has quotation marks around it. So it's open to legal interpretation if this goes before a judge. But yeah, so Skippy will be like, all right, I have all the new rules. I think I will be down in a couple hours with Hara's bow, and there will be no gnomes staring lifelessly into a void.
He's gonna just change the eyes, isn't he?
I think so.
So, switching topics. Xanroar, did you possibly get any information about our key?
Try to locate it, but nothing. Either it's not there, or it's encased in lead, or protected from divination. Which, seeing how rich the family is very possible.
How fortified do you think the place is? Do you think we can get in there?
Saw a very heavy door while in there, but haven't gotten the grand tour yet. Probably going to be getting that as soon as I officially join the house in 2 days.
How do you like the kid?
Just a sigh.
You know, that wasn't the worst Xanroar sigh. I've heard a lot worse, so, you know, it couldn't be that bad. You're doing good, bud.
Great
But
work.
yeah, day after tomorrow, I officially join the house.
You're leaving us, Xanroar.
Did Xanroar tell us about like his search for the key?
Yeah, like I just told you guys about the locate object
Okay.
that I cast and what could be preventing me from finding it.
No, actually, Temperance would turn to Skippy and be like, "Well, you're our best. If you can put aside the gnome tomfoolery for a minute, maybe we could find out what might be. You know how when you go in your pocket dimension and we can't get in there really unless you take us with you. Is there something like that?"
Skippy is going to like throw down the rope, because that's so the way it works. The rope is like the way in and out of the dimension, and he's going to like come down. Other than there are like windows, but so he's going to come down and be like, "Well, so I've been wrestling with some ideas," and he's going to shake his rock. And the gnome's going to pop out and be like, good idea. And so he's going to be explaining his idea for a box of human holding, which
What?
is
Wait. Don't like the name.
it works exactly like a bag of holding, except combine it with Skippy's rope trick. It would be a box like pocket dimension that could be easily stored and taken out and moved into and out of freely, that could be used to sneak somebody in or out of somewhere.
What about the whole breathing thing? Is that okay?
So somehow rope trick allows it to work, so I imagine as long as we're not like
I
submerged in
believe
water.
you could last 10 minutes in a bag of holding before the air
Yeah, that's
is out.
But rope trick, since it has windows, I think it allows it. So like that would probably have to be part of the box, like air holes. Yeah.
So what would it look like? It would look like just a regular box with holes poked in it.
I mean, I'm sure we could do something like a little more ornate, so it looks like something else.
All right, Xanroar, we're gonna have to craft a lunchbox for you. It sounds like. I don't know. Something to think about. Well, I don't know. I mean, if we can't find, if you know, perhaps they'll spend some time gaining their trust, but down the line, I mean, I don't want you going for the key on your own. So we'll have to consider that. But Skippy, I think that's off to a great start. I guess we just stay the course now, and Temperance is coming to terms with the fact that like they actually have like a semi-permanent home here while Xanroar's employed. What do we do?
Oh, so I had an idea. I'm gonna set up a shop called Skippy's Magical Marvels. I'm gonna
Boy.
sell
If you're
objects.
just gonna sell rocks that pop out gnomes, don't know that those are marvels.
But somebody might pay for them. Maybe.
I really think my pizza
But it
idea.
does cost you money to make these things. More money than I think most people would spend on a rock that makes a
Yes.
gnome.
I think we should all put Xanroar in charge of the money for the less county type of adults in the group. And
I already have Skippy's gold currently.
she's like basically not trying to say, Ari, you're fine,
Yeah.
but that's what she's saying. And Dustin, I think that pizza thing was delicious. Perhaps we can do something with that. And Skippy, I think if you find a reasonable way to produce them for a low cost, I think you guys have great ideas.
And
Maybe.
there's-
Huh?
No, you go.
No. I was just gonna say something stupid after you.
Oh, I was gonna say something stupid too.
Oh, okay.
Same time.
You first.
Interesting idea.
I was
You are.
I was just gonna say, well, they're all good at that. Just wait until you see me kidnap someone. You're going to be very impressed with my skills.
Wait a minute, and she pivots. Ara.
It was a
What?
joke. It was a joke.
Oh,
We
okay,
can
okay,
kidnap
okay.
them and
I mean-
force them to eat pizza,
Nope.
and they'll pay for it.
I can
Mm,
kidnap them.
My
No,
okay. Nope. And she'll flip over her notebook to the very top where it's written "No kidnapping" in like all caps. No, rule number
All right.
1 for this group now.
What about abduction?
No, that is the same thing. Different. I mean, good
It's
English.
a different
You're clearly
word.
working on
It's
your
not
reading, but
kidnapping.
it's no. That is not. Look, the people should want your pizza because it's delicious, Dustin, not because you've tied them to a chair and you're shoving it down their throat.
That's how all information gets around. That's how I did it. I don't know.
Well, let's break those bad habits and try and sell stuff because people like your wares instead of just, forcing them into eating your cabbage over and over.
Temperance is a life coach, and I love it. Oh god.
She doesn't want to be, but she clearly is not as savvy at talking to people as she thought she was, so here she is. This is uncomfortable for Temperance, what we're heading into. And she just is putting all like hopes and dreams onto Xanroar, who I feel like is also uncomfortable in his new position.
Oh God, yeah.
Did you stumble into a
He
Big
has
Brother
He has
situation?
not hidden. He has not hidden the fact from the rest of you, at least, that he is very uncomfortable with nobility and does not really like nobility. And these people are very close to nobility, and that is very uncomfortable for him.
Well, perhaps you can focus on your relationship with the child. Is the child someone you could get along with?
I mean, I think I have an idea, but time will tell if that actually will work.
Ara's just eyeing Xanroar kind of keenly. Just kind of like looking at you, trying to figure something out, almost.
Dustin's thinking about pizza. Alright, well, whatever
Well.
the case is, I'm gonna make food. So, you guys to type.
Xanroar's gonna kind of head off, so he's going to make or use his Charm Divinity to make another one of those armor suits, but temperance sized.
Checking strength.
The strength was
Okay.
we said, don't worry.
Was
Okay.
overruled.
Okay, good. I'm
But
fine.
basically,
Though. I'm totally strong. I'm so strong.
Do you have
As
9
long as you're
strength?
not,
I have 11 strength.
Oh.
as
Beefy bird.
long as you're not in bright light, you get +2 to stealth. It's basically studded leather, so 12 plus dex,
Nice.
and it's built to fit the hidden blade.
Very cool. How long does that take to craft?
With my Channel Divinity, only an hour.
Oh, dang.
He
Cool.
cheats.
It's hard to craft stuff on the road when you don't have a forge, so he makes do. None of this is masterwork, of course. As soon as he has decent downtime, that's when the real shit begins.
Nice. Yeah, I'll take that plus to stealth.
Oh yeah.
So it is now after 11. We will pause here until next week. You have some planning and plotting to do. You have a day to at least begin that. Because we could, and next week we decided that we were going to start at 6, an hour earlier.
Yep.
And that'll work for everybody. We'll make
Yes.
sure that Leaf knows.
Gonna 100% remember.
Hooray! Xanroar was impressive.
Yay!
We
Yay!
talked about gnomes for most of the session.
I'm
My God.
sorry.
My
You're
stomach
not wrong.
hurts.
To all the people that I'm playing with in all of Twitch, I am sorry.
Someone's got to clip that so Kate can see it.
It started off as, hey, this would be an interesting thing to make. And then I was like, but you know, Skippy. Just that. It's just Skippy.
I think Skippy. I'm sorry, everyone, but I think Skippy might be my favorite.
Oh no, he's wonderful.
The sad. What the sad part is, I knew something was coming because Nelson messaged me and was like, "Hey, Ara wouldn't happen to leave something behind, would she?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, she would, but I don't want to."
With a
Now
Skippy
I don't.
around.
This episode just needs to be called Gnomes.
Well, so
It's
like,
just a
Gnoming
little sad
around.
with Skippy. Like I made a thing and it's sad.
Yeah.
so like, I've actually been like, during downtimes, I'll have like ideas and like write them down for like shenanigans that Skippy got into before he ended up joining with the detective agency in this campaign. And one of them was, I had the idea that in college he had to take general courses for everything before he could like get a specialization in illusion. And one of those would have been like changing stuff, like transmutation, I think that is.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have experimented with giving bunnies vampiric blood. And like, none of this is canon, but just the thought that there could be vampiric bunnies. Yes.
I think it's canon now.
Just like, oh yeah, if you're ever
There was
near,
an incident.
if you're ever near Mnemoneris, don't go near the bunnies.
Would you believe me if I told you I have a demi boss built that is literally the Easter Bunny that's a vampire demon?
No, but I love it.
Yep.
Well, I mean, yes, I believe you, but yeah, I don't know why I said no. I believe you. But yeah, so I've just been like writing down all my ideas that I have for Skippy, and I've even like done some for like after all this, writing like what Skippy does after we find the tower, and eventually we all go our separate ways. So
can we make a cult?
Demon Bunny.
Cult of the Gnome.
Well, it really depends. So, oh my gosh, it's a thing.
What? Wait,
I found the Demon Bunny.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Wow. This.
I remember as a child, there was a book series called Bunnicula.
Yep,
Oh yeah!
I read it.
And it was about bunny, like a quote-unquote vampire bunny that sucked like the colors and nutrients out of like vegetables and turned them white. They're like, I would totally be down for like a section of Mnemoneris having like Bunniculas like all over the place that are just like terrorizing crops and stuff. And they're like the level 1 like beginning adventurer quest.
But like bunnies, just they breed so quickly, so you can never. Yeah, so like I thought of that, and I was like, Skippy probably made this, and they're like, no, you need to destroy this thing. And then Skippy was like, oh, okay. And he went out to go take it, and then he was like, oh, but it's too cute, I can't do this. And then it bit him and ran off, and now he's like,
Skippy's
I'm
gonna
sure
have a
this will be
kingdom.
fine.
Skippy's gonna have a kingdom, and it's just gonna be filled with gnomes. And I'm so excited.
And none of them will be real.
We're on the wrong side of the country for a whole bunch of gnomes.
Eh,
But we don't know what the future holds.
This is D&D.
I swear one day Skippy is going to try to make something like useful out of these.
just the juxtaposition of Temperance saying, "I can see your dick," and then straight into gnome. Like, are you arming gnomes in there angrily? I just couldn't.
Are we still streaming right
Yes,
now?
we are
Are we?
currently.
Oh,
Enjoy the thought
See,
of
that's
gnome penile.
death bunnies.
Bye.
Yeah, I will end the stream here on that note.
goodbye, friends.
Goodbye,
It's
everybody.
different.
Bye.
Uh,
I just
farewell.